or visit eTrade.com.
CBS Monday, one crime scene is about to become two.
Hey, what are you doing?
We lost a piece of evidence. We have to find it.
A new CSI Miami Monday.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by Mountain Dew, the people who brought you Mountain Dew. Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. And by Audi. In technology, performance, and design, our goal remains constant. Never follow.
Well, if Stanford, the top seed in the Phoenix bracket, goes on to win the NCAA tournament, the team may find that it has no place to show off its new trophy. That's because this elite academic institution has relocated its basketball team to a trailer park.
Maples Pavilion was the scene of one of the most thrilling moments in college basketball this season. But the 35-year-old campus landmark began extensive renovations the minute the regular season ended. The construction has given new meaning to the old play called Find the Open Trailer on the Break.
Maples was in bad need of a renovation. Our facilities were by far the worst in the Pac-10, so, they needed an upgrade, and it just so happens that now's the time.
We just happened to be kicked to the curb, which was fine. Everything that we had in Maples, we have in our trailers.
We're changing in a trailer and showering in a trailer as well, so it's been a humbling experience for us.
It really doesn't bother me at all. We just got carpet, 2 days ago, so that was fantastic.
It's kind of nice, though. It's a fresh start for us. It feels like something new in a long and sometimes long and hard season. So we welcome the change.
All I know is that trailer park looks like it can play some tough defense, and that's a big hump to get over. Is the Stanford team a beatable team?
They are beatable, but they're one of the most complete teams in the field, and I really think they've got an excellent chance to get to the Final Four. As a matter of fact, if they weren't in the same region as Connecticut, I would pick them to get there. They've endured some adversity, injury to Josh Childress at the start of the season, Justin Davis late, and they've shown they can fight through all of that in addition to a renovation of their practice facility.
Then more specifically, are they beatable by Alabama?
I don't think so, Greg. I really don't. And the reason why is because of that veteran leadership. One of the more underrated players in the country, I think, Chris Hernandez, the point guard at Stanford. Lute Olson told me earlier in the year that outside of the Arizona players, Hernandez is the best leader he's seen come through the Pac-10 in about 15 years. That's not a team that's going to be upset.
So you see Stanford is making it to the Final Four?
I like them over UConn in that regional final. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Now. Watch out.
Well, we got to save some stuff for next week.
Okay, that'll work.
We'll get
all right, we'll
really
talk
heated,
about it.
But
yeah,
I
by all
like the
means,
Cardinal.
we'll keep some stuff in our hip pocket. We're back with more on the road to the Final Four after this message and a word from your local station.
Fast break every chance you get. The Pontiac Grand Prix.
Who says the president dropped the ball on terrorism to go to war in Iraq? One of his own former White House advisors. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Russell Crowe, Meg Ryan, David Caruso. Proof of Life. Network premieres Sunday.
Looking to perfect your in-home entertaining? Affordable Brunswick quality is here, now at Brunswick Home and Billiard. Come in this weekend for Brunswick's factory-sponsored sales event. Save thousands on pool tables and game room furnishings, beautifully displayed in Chicago's only Brunswick Designer Showroom and Pavilion. Meet with factory representatives, play the tables, and discover why the Brunswick legacy of enduring quality continues. Plus, arrange special financing so you can enjoy your table today. Bring value home this weekend at Brunswick Home and Billiard, Eaton's Plaza, Wilmette.
There's a place where the wind is cool and the curves are exciting, where all convertibles are turbocharged and the sun has a very hard time keeping up. The all-new Saab 9.3 convertible. This is the state of independence. Welcome.
Right now, get a Saab 9.3 ARC convertible for as low as $499 a month during the Saab What Are You Waiting For sales event.
John Duncanson and Sylvia Gomez. Weekends on CBS 2.
Are you ready? Coming up, 9 hours of nonstop tournament action, beginning with Seton Hall and Duke, the top seed in the Atlanta bracket. And then at about 3:20 Eastern Time, Nevada, an upset winner over Michigan State, meets second seed Gonzaga, and another Cinderella in the making. Manhattan takes on Wake Forest. Among the schools in action in our third set of games, St. Joe's, top seed in the East Rutherford bracket, and Stanford, #1 in the Phoenix bracket. And the quadruple header games tipping at about 8 Eastern Time, DePaul against UConn, North Carolina versus Texas. The two games in Raleigh are Seton Hall and Duke, and Manhattan and Wake Forest. What do you like in this?
I like Wake Forest. I know my partner here likes Manhattan, and with good reason. They're a tough-minded team. We're really impressive in their win against Florida. But I think the front line, Jamal Levy, Eric Williams for Wake Forest, will be the difference, because I think the backcourts in that game will kind of square off.
Against the Jaspers at your own peril, my friend. New York City's finest. I like them to move on. I think Duke's going to win pretty handily today. Seton Hall, these players have never been to the NCAA tournament. That experience is going to be a huge advantage for the Blue Devils.
Okay, the two games out in Seattle. Nevada plays Gonzaga, and Alabama against Stanford. We just talked about Alabama and Stanford. How about this Nevada-Gonzaga game?
Well, Kirk Snyder is a terrific all-around player for Nevada, but I just think, again, Gonzaga, along with UConn and Stanford, those are the three most complete teams in the tournament field, and I think that complete arsenal is going to be too much for Nevada to overcome.
Well, I've got Gonzaga winning the whole thing, so obviously I like them today. But we talked about Stanford. The fact that Justin Davis is getting healthy now, he does not have to wear his knee brace. Stanford finally at full strength. They're going to be awfully tough to beat.
In Buffalo, Texas Tech plays St. Joe's, and DePaul plays UConn. This DePaul Connecticut game, I know, Seth, you feel may be the best game of the whole tournament.
Well, it could be, but we're certainly not going to see a lot of made free throws today, I guarantee you that. I like St. Joseph's not just to win today. They're going to make a big statement. I think they're going to come out ready to play. They're going to win big, Clark.
This is the one game I think everybody else, when we look across the schedule today, I think the rest of the higher-seeded teams are going to prevail. The only place where I think there might be a stumbling block is this St. Joe's Texas Tech game because of the motion offense, Andre Emmett, and their front line prowess. Keep an eye on that one, folks.
Out in Denver, the last two champions, Syracuse and Maryland, pick a winner out of this.
I like Maryland because of their versatile defenders.
I'll take the Terps, and I do like Texas in the nightcap.
All right, guys. Seton Hall against Duke is next from Raleigh. Kevin Harlan, Dan Bonner have the call. We'll join them courtside after this word from your local station. Enjoy.
See the future through the lawyers of Century City. New episode CBS Tonight.
What if all-wheel drive had brains? Constantly adjusting. Giving you the handling of rear-wheel drive. And the traction of all-wheel drive. But only when you need it. Intelligent all-wheel drive that changes with the weather. Available on the Infiniti G35.
Where you go in life is up to you. There's one airline that can take you there. United. It's time to fly.
When it starts showing up in video games, don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo performance mess with your mind. It's still built like a Volvo. Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
Diane Burns and Antonio Mora, weeknights only on CBS 2 News.
We welcome you to Raleigh, North Carolina, and the second round of the NCAA tournament as the #1 seeded Duke Blue Devils take on 8th seeded Seton Hall. This is the Atlanta Regional, and the winner here today will play the winner of Illinois-Cincinnati next week. Hi, everyone, with Dan Bonner, Kevin Harlan. Great to have you with us this afternoon on a great day for college basketball here on CBS. Well, Dan, coming into this tournament, the headline for Duke was they are injured. Is it still the top story with this team?
It is, particularly when the main injury is your headliner. Chris Duhon, senior point guard and leader, injured his ribs while falling into a camera in the ACC tournament. Played only 16 minutes yesterday, had 2 assists, an easy day for him. The grimace on the face as they removed the tape on the Thursday, the grimace this afternoon already. It's going to be really tough for him to go full speed.
Duke took care of Alabama State. Seton Hall beat the high-flying Arizona Wildcats. How did the Hall advance?
True grit. I think that's the best way to describe it. It helps to come back from a 14-point deficit when you've got a guy inside like Kelly Whitney, 24 points, 14 rebounds, in a world of toughness. Had some cramps in his leg in the second half. Actually went out a couple of times. Andre Barrett also was outstanding. 19.6 rebounds, really made some key plays. Coming back from 14 down is never easy. I don't think they want to try that again today.
It's Duke and the Seton Hall Pirates coming up next on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Audi, Papa John's Pizza, Microsoft, and by Michelob Ultra.
Where would we be if we always did things the way they were done before?
3, 2, 1.
Where would we be if everyone followed and no one led?
I'm never ever gonna get it all. I'm never ever gonna get it all.
It's NCAA March Madness.
And Papa John's is part of the action.
Tell us about it, Papa John.
First, get any large specialty pizza for a winning price.
And what about the ball?
Yes, get a limited edition Final Four basketball and a Coke for just $5.99.
Get a limited edition basketball and any 2-liter of Coca-Cola for just $5.99 when you buy any large Papa John's specialty pizza for just $10.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Call now and have a ball.
People love that ball.
Great teams are often forged over the hot coals of adversity. On the eve of the big meeting, the third quarter numbers suddenly changed. But so did your presentation, automatically. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's a Cinderella story.
Is it true that you guys do more brake jobs than anyone else?
Yes.
And are my pads and shoes really guaranteed for as long as I own my car?
Yes.
Even if it's 20 more years?
Absolutely.
Do you ever cry at weddings?
No.
Visit your neighborhood Midas mechanic now for lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes. Just $89.95, including installation. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car. For mechanics known for their work and their word,
trust the Midas touch.
Wednesday on a special night. What's in this drink that's making Mogo Mogo fly high?
It feels so good being quiet.
Survivor All-Stars on a special night, CBS Wednesday.
The Atlanta Regional second round, top seed Duke. The Blue Devils, the ACC regular season champions, with Mike Krzyzewski in his 24th season at Duke. And they will start freshman Luol Deng with Sheldon Williams, J.J. Redick, Daniel Ewing, and the injured Chris Duhon. And 8th seeded Seton Hall from the Big East Conference, tied for 5th with BC. Lewis Orr in his 3rd year. They'll go with Marcus Toniel, Andre Sweet, Kelly Whitney, Andre Barrett, and John Allen. Those were the Pontiac starting lineups. Our officials today: The Final Four veteran Eddie Hightower with Eddie Jackson and Rick Hartzell. Duke took care of 16th seed Alabama State by 35 points. And Seton Hall beat 9th seed Arizona by 4 points. Those games on Thursday.
Man-to-man defense for the Duke Blue Devils, and watch to see how Chris Duhon handles these screens that Seton Hall will set for Barrett.
And outside, Sweet nails the jump shot. He began his college career at Duke.
As a member of that 2001 national championship team at Duke and transferred to Seton Hall, you know that he was very happy to hit that opening basket.
Here's Ewing, who had 19 points, and Duhon, who was scoreless on Thursday.
He played a couple of assists. Man-to-man for Seton Hall.
Well, Dang, and back to Duhon, and the shot clock down to 10. Into the 6'8" Dang. And finds a double, but banks it home.
Marcus Toniel didn't get there quite quickly enough, Kevin. If you're going to double team in that situation, you got to get there while the guy is dribbling the ball.
Andre Barrett, part of the All-Century team at Seton Hall. Sweet again for 3, and Dang clutches onto it for the Blue Devils.
Interesting matchup here. Andre Barrett is guarding J.J. Redick. Redick, not a guy who's known for taking it down inside with the post-up move. Barrett obviously trying to get close enough to bother that three-point shot.
Allen watches Ewing drive inside. Rebound by Kelly Whitney, who grabbed 14 rebounds in game 1. And Marcus Toniel playing with a bad leg. And here is Whitney. And a J.J. Redick rebound.
You notice early in the game, and I don't know whether we'll see this throughout the game, but Duhon not really looking to push the ball up the court quickly.
And Redick in traffic gives Duke a 4-3 lead.
Everybody's worried about Redick's stroke. His stroke inside the three-point arc looked okay that time.
Although he began the other night 0 of 5 from above the three-point arc on Thursday against Alabama State.
Made 4 of his last 7, though, so they're hoping that he has recovered his stroke.
Whitney drawing a quick double down low with Williams and Dang, and back on top with the shot clock reaching 10. And John Allen, who put in 15 points against Arizona, puts the Hall back on top by a point.
Allen, a big, strong guy, 6'5", weighs more than 200 pounds, really good at getting the ball down in the lane and muscling it to the goal.
Sheldon Williams. And he was effective inside Thursday and appears to be that way this afternoon.
And speaking of muscling to the goal, Sheldon Williams, that's going to be a tough matchup for Whitney. The guy's similar size, Williams 6'9", Whitney 6'8", both weigh a little more than 240. Be a really good matchup to watch.
And they go again inside to Sweet. There's a Chris Duhon rebound. And in on Allen. And a rebound by Whitney, and a quick trigger now to Barrett, who dribbled off the foot, it looked like, of Redick, that the Hall controls, and plenty of time on the clock.
Is he fast going down the court or what?
Baseline to baseline, as quick as you'll find in the college game, and that time he traveled. For more on the injury to Chris Duhon, let's swing it over to Tracy Wolfson.
I spoke to Mike Krzyzewski yesterday, and he said Duhon's injury is not going to heal for a while. So they're doing whatever they can to ease the pain. He's been getting treatment, taking painkillers, and today he has a pad wrapped around his back rib. I asked Duhon how it affects him on the court, and he says he can shoot, but it's extremely painful to make short, quick turns, and it's very hard to breathe.
And his senior leadership is absolutely vital for this team as that air ball goes whistling out of bounds.
The leadership aspect of it, of course, is very important, and basically he demonstrates that leadership by making plays, and he makes a lot of plays going into the lane, tough kind of plays, and it'll be interesting to see if he is physically capable of doing that in a game such as this one.
And Barrett dishing to Allen for 3. Williams with another rebound for Duke. Redick from way outside. And Duke is on a 9-2 run in the first couple minutes of the ball game.
Boy, Duhon is really struggling out there, Kevin. He's having a difficult time keeping up, and he ran into a screen that time.
And Sweet again. He's got 5 for Seton Hall.
That whole
they got that thing pretty heavily wrapped.
Yeah, and Duhon, that whole sequence for Seton Hall started when they ran Duhon into a screen.
Williams is shoved inside. And Whitney picks up the foul for Seton Hall. That is the first on him.
And Duhon, watch his face here as he tries to make the move into the lane and then cannot extend. Then as he struggles to run up the court, just can't get back in time, then running into the screen, can't catch up. Duke, however, leads by 2.
Isaiah.
Alcindor.
Bryce.
Hurley. Sullivan Hayes. Patrick Ewing.
You decide the Pontiac All-Time Tournament team at ncaasports.com/Pontiac and register for your chance to win 4 tickets to the 2005 Men's Final Four and a 2004 Pontiac GTO.
Right now, Elizabeth on my buddy list is having a real party. She picked the 15th over the number 2 seed because she liked the mascot. Me? I'm not having a party right now. Oh.
Now you can get AOL Instant Messenger right on your singular phone. Take your buddy list with you anywhere and get unlimited instant messaging for $2.99 and a great deal on I Am Ready Nokia phones.
I call it the how do you like your furry mascot now plan.
AOL Instant Messenger, another reason singular fits you best.
Units per transaction, then we could up the margins by a very sizable
I'm looking for something in the production operations management scheme. I'm educated, I'm experienced. I believe that any job's worth doing is worth doing right the first time. I just gotta stop and have some dreams and then chase those dreams.
Monster, today's the day.
Imagine steak and shrimp, or shrimp and steak. Imagine having both of these on just one plate.
Applebee's new steak and shrimp double features. Get happy.
So happy together.
There it is, a win for the ages.
A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS.
Whether you're looking for live scores and updated brackets from each game or game centers with in-depth play-by-play, you can find it all at CBSSportsline.com. Well, during our timeout, they were retaping the right ankle of J.J. Redick of Duke.
What happened was when John Allen drove to the basket, Redick actually turned his ankle trying to defend him, limped back up the court there. I think that's simply a precaution, just getting it retaped so he doesn't roll it again.
No changes either way after that break. And Duke beginning 4 of 7. Now Dockery has come in now for the...
But interestingly enough, he didn't come in for Duhon. I figured they'd substitute Duhon out, but it's not Duhon who comes out of the game, it's Daniel Ewing.
Ewing had the hot hand on Alabama State on Thursday. And bang on top is Sean Dockery, a McDonald's All-America out of the Chicago area. Here's Redick. And on that bad ankle, hits his second consecutive shot.
Boy, Andre Barrett trying to guard Redick. That's an interesting matchup because even though Barrett can stay close to him, Redick with a substantial height advantage. Redick about 6'4". They list Barrett at 5'10", but he's probably only about 5'8". Redick is going to be able to get the shot off over top of Barrett.
Seton Hall has started 3 of 7 from the field, and Sweet has been the main shooter. Marcus Toniel comes up with the rebound and puts it back in for his first 2.
First offensive rebound by either team in the game, and Seton Hall did a great job on the offensive boards the other night against Arizona. I think they're going to have to get some second opportunities to win today.
Redick again, missing his first and whacked as he shot. And that's 3 free throws coming up now for J.J. Redick of Duke.
J.J. Redick doing a great job moving without the ball. Watch how he draws 2 guys, gets around Sweet, then draws a third. So Redick with 3 guys trying to guard him, and they can't do it. And now here he comes off the screen by Dockery, and Marcus Toniel trying to jump out on him. And I think that's why Barrett's guarding Redick, because they know they run Reddick off a lot of screens, and they're looking for a bigger guy to jump out against Reddick on the screen.
And Duke couldn't have a better free throw shooter at the line. He is #1 in the ACC and #2 in the nation.
He's now made 131 of 137 on the year.
And it's another, and Duke equals their biggest lead of 4 with 14-16 to play in this first half. Reddick, three-time Virginia High School Player of the Year. Sophomore from Roanoke. Reddick now has 10 of Duke's 14 points. Reddick will quickly check out. And they bring back in Ewing. With Dang Duhan, Sheldon Williams, and Dockery remains in the backcourt.
Duhan now matched up against Marcus Toniel. So Duhan is playing an inside guy, a guy not as likely to be driving it to the basket.
Rebounding even at 4 apiece so far. And Allen can't find anything in there. And Whitney, who was so effective in that role against Arizona on Thursday, another offensive rebound, and Barrett for 3. Dang, chases.
Oh, that's a great rebound.
And he goes up now, and Dockery the other way.
Dang didn't so much grab that ball as he surrounded it and enveloped it. That was just a great hustle play.
Reddick on the bench with a game-high 10 for Duke, 5 from Sweet, leading Seton Hall. That's deflected out of bounds by Duhan, a first-team All-ACC defensive player.
Seton Hall really doing a nice job getting after the ball. The ball is slapped around, but Dang just wrestles it away from 2 guys in Dockery. Seeing his teammate had the ball streaking down court. Duke is very effective at those run-out baskets. It's hard to beat the Blue Devils if you give him easy ones like that.
Here's Barrett from the Bronx, New York on top. J.R. Morris with Sweet into Whitney. And fouled on the play. Ewing came across his front. And Whitney gets the 2.
Morris is a guy that Seton Hall brings off the bench for some offensive firepower. But Sweet with the ball there, drawing the defense. And Kelly Whitney, really a key guy for Louis Orr, and Louis Orr's team, what an outstanding season they've had, Kevin.
10-6 conference record in the Big East. Reddick has come back in for Dockery. And Duke controls. Duke, for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons, a #1 seed. The 7th consecutive year they've won a first-round game by double digits when they beat Alabama State by 35. Across the lane, Williams. And chased and retrieved by Barrett. And it's 5-on-4 because Sheldon Williams of Duke is down, and thus Whitney is free, and that's the result.
Sheldon Williams really very slow getting back up. That was a great play by Whitney to just keep Williams away from the basket.
Duhan into Williams, and they're defending him that time with Sweet. And now Williams has 4 for Duke.
Key for Williams is to, if you're Seton Hall, is to keep him away from the basket. Can't let him get so close.
Barrett with Duhan on him, slithers inside, and a rebound by Dang. He picks up his 4th rebound for the Blue Devils. And he'll launch a 3 at the other end. Saved by Morris, point back to Duhan.
You never save it under the basket like that unless you're certain you're throwing it to your own guy.
Duke equals their biggest lead of 7.
Duke getting very, very easy shots, which is why they're shooting 61%.
Each team has nailed a 3-point shot so far, and away from the ball, Allen and Ewing are battling, and Ewing will pick up his 2nd foul for Duke.
You heard Tracy Wolfson say that Duhan really having trouble making quick moves, and if you're going to guard Barrett, you've got to be able to move quickly. On offense, however, if you throw it to him right under the basket, he is fine.
Dad, did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Tell me again how you came to this conclusion.
Okay. #1, it's a challenge. #2, it's not what everybody else does.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
It's important. And And as far as careers go, I'll do more, and I'll have more choices later.
So when did you start talking like me?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my new Kia Sedona. It's got a 10-year warranty. Jersey gonna have that?
No.
It was $2,300 less, and I got 3 years free maintenance.
You got free maintenance?
Yeah.
Dare to compare a Kia Sedona before you buy. With a 5-star safety rating, a 10-year warranty, and now for a limited time, get 3 years free maintenance. When you add it all up, there's no comparison.
What's this? That's a blade. Blade? What's a blade? Blade's a server. This is a server? That's a server. Where's all the stuff? Stuff? What stuff? The plugs, the cables, you know. In the Blade Center? Blade Center. Where you put the blades. What's a blade? You're messing with me, right?
Highly simplified, affordable IBM eServer Blade Center with Intel Xeon processors.
Moving in on 2 hours sleep? That's a headache. The moment of choice, Tylenol or Advil for fast headache relief. Advil liquid gels work faster, stronger, better than Tylenol on tough headaches.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Thank you, Advil. Advance to Advil relief.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Your husband isn't dead. He's alive.
I just can't keep hoping.
So we're on then?
Absolutely. Proof of Life. Network premiere CBS Sunday.
So far through one round of the NCAA tournament, ACC teams are 6-0. 5 teams were seeded 4th or better. 5 teams seeded among the top 16. So they have not disappointed. And Duke on top from the ACC here against Seton Hall. Duke shooting 62% to begin the game.
Chris Duhon seems to be bothered and trying to guard quicker guys, but he has toughed it out on the inside.
Shavlik Randolph has come in for the first time for Duke. They've also brought in Mike Horvath, who is defending Whitney inside for Seton Hall. And that is a quick foul. And it goes on Duhon for the first time for the Blue Devils. Bill Meyer now comes in for Seton Hall. Out there with Whitney, so some pretty big people inside for Seton Hall. That's one of the great advantages they thought they had coming into this afternoon. J.R. Morris out there with Barrett. And they've got John Allen. That is the Seton Hall 5 on the deck. And here's Morris with Duhon and Dockery following it.
Seton Hall guys really doing a good job recognizing that Chris Duhon is not as quick as normal and putting it on the deck and trying to go around him. Barrett has had some success, and now Morris.
Here's Reddick, who began 2-2, shoved by Allen and fouled by John Allen. So Allen picks up the foul, and that is number 1 on him. Reddick at the line.
Reddick has been moving very, very effectively early in the game, doing a great job moving without the ball. And as you mentioned before, Kevin, it's almost automatic when he's at the free throw line.
One of the best.
I still think if you want to watch things going on off the ball, keep your eye on Duhon and how he's handling the screens.
Duke out there with Randolph and Horvath, Reddick, Dockery, and Duhon. Sets the lineups on the floor for both teams. Just under 11 minutes now to play in the first half. There's Bill Meyer tangling with Randolph.
The Seton Hall's got powerful guys at just about every position.
Allen grinding his way, and Whitney against Horvath. Too many steps. A travel violation on Whitney, who had 22 points and 14 rebounds the other night against Arizona when he was going up against the Channing Frys and some of the bigger people for the Arizona Wildcats.
And he really played with a lot of heart. had those severe leg cramps and he had to come out of the game a couple of times, but was nonetheless able to continue to get it done.
Reddick lasers it inside for Horvath. And that gives Duke their biggest lead of 9 over Seton Hall, 24-15. Barrett. And nice for Whitney in a foul, and Randolph picks it up.
You can really see what kind of attention J.R. Reddick draws when he is shooting the ball well, and he's shooting the ball very well today. Bill Meyer comes out at him, Barrett comes out at him. That leaves Horvath open. Seton Hall does not rotate over quickly enough, and that's what J.J. Reddick can do. He disrupts your whole defense because you know you've got to find him when he is in a zone, and he's certainly in that zone today. He hadn't missed a shot yet. You've got to get to him, or he can score 40.
Now Sheldon Williams and Deng come back in. Dockery and Horvath will check out, and Whitney at the line. He was suffering from leg and stomach cramps the other night. Coming back in, and they choose 3 all Big East teams with a honorable mention team, and he was honorable mention at the center position. So it gives you an indication of the depth at that center position in a very, very good conference.
Must be some pretty good post guys, because, and of course there are, that is the league of Okafor. So
Randolph driving in on Whitney.
Randolph had a big game the other night, scoring 20 points, and that time he just used his quickness to go around Whitney. Whitney much better guarding guys closer to the basket.
Knocked away by Reddick. Newly instated Donald Copeland is a 5'10 sophomore, launches after he shakes the defense, and it sails out of bounds.
Shavlik Randolph, a 6'10 guy who can handle the ball. Whitney gets right up against him. Randolph recognizes he's got a lane to the basket. Nobody comes to help. Again, Whitney used to guarding guys down in the post. You just can't get that close to a fellow who can handle the ball out on the perimeter when he's still got his dribble left.
Pretty good efficiency by Duke this afternoon. 12 of 16 possessions they have scored. They have Deng inside, who puts it up as he was contorting for 2, and gives Duke their biggest lead this afternoon, 28-17. Bill Meyer picks up the Seton Hall foul.
You don't think about Luol Deng as being a guy who's particularly strong. He looks skinny out there compared to other people, but he's got some strength. Nice job to catch the ball. Goes right up through Bill Meyer. Too easy thus far for the Duke Blue Devils from Seton Hall's perspective. It's a very efficient offense, but they're getting easy shots.
Luol Deng, a freshman from London, England. He was the ACC Rookie of the Week 5 times in the last 6 weeks of the season.
And that's a lot of points in the first 11 minutes of the half.
Sweet, Whitney, and Morris for 3. Williams with the rebound. That's the second that he has snared. And Duke is +4 in that category. Reddick has got 12, and he adds on to the total. And Lewis Orr wants a timeout, as J.J. Reddick has gone 4 of 4 to start the game. And Duke is rolling 31-17 with their biggest lead.
Oh, hey, Stu. New tie?
No.
Hey, Stu, waxed your back?
Not lately. Hey, Stu. Did you take care of that rash? Nope.
Whoa! You're going commando.
No.
Did you see your...
No. I saw my bartender. He told me to try this.
If you want to have it all, great taste, fewer calories, and half the carbs of Bud Light, talk to your bartender. Great taste, less filling, Miller Lite. Good call.
Insurance, loans, retirement. AIG. We know money.
Come on, let's go. Let's not talk about tomorrow. Today. You know who I am, and I love what you wear. Those guilty garments kill my soul.
When you put people first, you make sure help is never far away. Saturn is now available with OnStar. Saturn. People first.
Want to glide with a thin, light laptop? Unwire with a wireless laptop powered by Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Looking for an exciting new salad? Try Wendy's Spinach Chicken Salad with fresh romaine and baby spinach, tender pieces of chicken breast filet, and a delicious sweet and sour bacon dressing with only 2.5 grams of fat. Wendy's new Spinach Chicken Salad. It's better here.
Can this big movie executive cut it as a security guard?
Watch your step, everyone. Barney Fife is here.
Have a good one. Yes, dear. New episode, CBS Monday.
Monday in an all-new Late Show. Dave welcomes the one and only Tom Hanks, plus music from NERD in an all-new Top 10. That's Monday right here on CBS.
We talked before the game about Chris Duhon and how the injury was going to affect him. Watch him be a little bit careful right here. Normally, Duhon is a guy who would get in there and mix it up. But offensively, he is doing a nice job running the show for the Duke Blue Devils, getting the ball very effectively in transition to J.J. Redick, who has not missed in 4 shot attempts, a 14-point lead for Duke. And Duhon, despite his pain, has been a big part of that.
Duke is on an 11-2 run. It's interesting, Seton Hall was down by 14 to Arizona on Thursday.
And it was in the second half, and they started their comeback. We said before they didn't want to get behind by 14 today, and certainly they didn't. But now they've got to dig in, particularly on the defensive end, and come back.
Barrett with a fake on Duhon, and Sweet maneuvering on Randolph, who may have gotten a hand on the ball. Williams comes up with it.
Boy, Duke can come at you in so many different ways. They can play a smaller lineup with Ewing, Duhon, and Redick, and then they can go with 3 big guys, Deng and Randolph and Williams, and give you a lot of different looks, and they're all good looks.
Deng inside. It's by Allen, and again forces one up, and he's got 7 points. The game high 14 by J.J. Redick, leading everybody here with under 8 to play in the first half, and Duke on top 33-17. Sweet, Whitney, who has been quiet. The defense by Williams. Whitney is 2 of 5 with 6 points so far.
Seton Hall really needs to get some turnovers and easy baskets or some second shot opportunities.
Randolph. Offensive rebound by Williams on Whitney with a travel inside on Sheldon Williams. Duke is shooting 68%. And they lead Seton Hall 33-17.
Investments, every hour of every day is dedicated to a team approach to money management. We put some of the best and brightest together with one mission: you. At Putnam Investments, we urge you to consider the investment objective, risks, charges, and fees for any fund. Ask your financial advisor or plan sponsor for a prospectus containing this and other information. Read it carefully before you invest.
I was president of the company that I founded in the poultry business, portion control boneless chicken breast. Had an opportunity to get out of the business on a profitable basis. I believe I can be successful as an executive in almost any industry.
Monster, today's the day.
We're witnessing a college basketball miracle. Dick Vitale silent for an entire 17 seconds. On a personal note, for myself and sportscasters everywhere, I'd like to thank the crust, the juicy toppings, and the pizza delivery guy.
For fresh baked pizza at home. Pick up DiGiorno for the game and you could win NCAA Final Four tickets for life. Look for details on specially marked packages or visit craftfoods.com.
It's Rice. Rice gets a 3. 26 points. It's Rice. Rice with the 3. Look at the smoke coming from his right hand. Rice. Magnificent scoring machine.
Think he's good enough to make the Pontiac
Pontiac all-time tournament team? You decide at ncaasports.com/Pontiac.
Who says the president dropped the ball on terrorism to go to war in Iraq? One of his own former White House advisors. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Look at the backcourt scoring for Duke, 18-4. They've been, Dan Bonner, so very efficient so far.
Well, we talked about the versatility of the Duke Blue Devils. They can come at you in a lot of different ways, and they've used just about all of them here in the first half against Seton Hall. The Hall just has to do a better job defensively. A lot of these baskets by Duke, even coming from the backcourt players, are coming on the inside. They're basically layups, and Seton Hall has to try to prevent them.
They have 3 lead changes in this game, no ties. 16 points, the biggest lead this afternoon for Duke. And here is Sweet, working by Randolph, and a little bit long. Seton Hall is shooting 36% from the floor.
And when you shoot 36% and you play a team like Duke, you've got to get some second opportunities. But you saw in that last play, no blue shirts around the ball. Great block out by the Duke Blue Devils.
Randolph slides it inside, and Williams hustling for a position, wipe it away. And he's got the foul. Well, we are in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Durham, North Carolina is not that far from here, just 29 miles. And you can see other teams that are close to their campuses in this first round and second round of action. That's great for a guy like Chris Duhon and get that great medical attention.
Boy, it is. He can go over and be in his own training room and all the medical facilities they have over at Duke, and it's much easier for Duke to treat him than if they were out in Kansas City, for example.
Lots of travel, and the turnovers in the game now. 3 for Seton Hall and just 2 for Duke.
Mike Krzyzewski has to be pleased with what he has seen so far. His team has been absolutely dominant.
A player with more than 2 fouls in the game. Ewan does have 2. Here's Reddick, wide open. Randolph slides inside and goes over the defense of Whitney. And Seton Hall the other way. They have not hit from the field in almost 5 minutes. And Barrett crashing inside.
The Duke defense has been very good, but their offense even better. And J.J. Reddick is a guy who draws so much attention. Watch right here as Reddick comes off the screen. Both of these guys will go get him. That leaves Randolph all alone. Whitney's slow getting over. We saw Randolph take the ball and drive it to the basket. Well, he can also carry it to the goal.
When the stakes are high, the great ones answer the call. Like a November wind, you cut through the unforgiving wasteland of company data and emerged with numbers that were once untouchable. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's showtime.
Duke by 18 with 6 minutes to play in the first half.
And Chris Duhon, we talked about his rib problems, gets banged that time. Well, the ball went right across his nose. Great job by Randolph to step in. Barrett got by, but Randolph stepped in and drew the charge.
No changes after the timeout. Here's Duhon and Reddick, 4 of 4, including a 3, and 5 of 5 from the free throw line for Reddick as well. Duhon. Sweet guarded. Reddick. And chasing the ball. It will be Seton Hall's ball. Coming up from Seattle, Nevada will take on Gonzaga. And then back here in Raleigh, the surprise so far, 12th seed Manhattan against Wake Forest, another team from the ACC. That's all coming up on CBS. Great games this afternoon from Denver, as Morris has it finally go in, stopping a long drought that ends a 15-2 run by Duke.
That was a basket that Seton Hall needed desperately. Now the Hall drops back into a zone defense. Duke has just been shredding them in the man-to-man.
Williams. This is not the same Seton Hall team that we saw against Arizona. when they were very bullish inside the lane, defending and on the offensive end.
That was a tough break right there. Duhon really forced that pass. Seton Hall guys tipped it, but Williams came up with it.
Barrett. And another rebound for Duke.
They haven't been very efficient on the offensive end either. Not a lot of ball movement and passing. A couple of dribbles and a quick shot, and that really plays into the hands of a team like Duke if those shots are not going to go in the basket.
Duke is +8 in rebounding as Reddick maneuvers. And Duhon trying to feed it inside, knocked away, and it's Kelly Whitney to Barrett and Morris. And that will count for 2.
They got Duhon that time, and I think that's Duhon's second foul. Duhon, again, part of his problem is quick movements. That's what bothers him the most, and he just can't get to Barrett, although I think he bothered that shot and caused the miss. Now, here's a play where Duhon, normally he would step in and take the charge, but he actually gets out of the way, and in getting out of the way, he fouled Morris. So Duhon obviously bothered by that rib problem.
Seton Hall, just their second tournament appearance in the past 10 seasons, and their first in the last 4. With third-year coach Lewis Orr. This is a program that had great sights about 3-4 years ago when Eddie Griffin was there and Barrett and the real Marcus Toniel. And they thought they were headed for some great things.
1999, they made it to the NCAA tournament Sweet 16, and then they had the great recruiting class, and they thought they were going to be at the top of the college basketball world, but this is the first time in the NCAA tournament since then.
Ewing. And the rebound by Morris of Seton Hall. Barrett blazes it inside, and Sweet against Dang, who had a nice defensive position, and Duhon racing the other way. Duke has numbers. Williams will fumble it. And it's off the Blue Devils. It's been all Duke with their 65% shooting. And the 14 points of J.J. Redick.
Old pals.
Jimmy, don't shoot, it's us! I know!
New problems.
Cynthia's been kidnapped.
You really are a nitwit, Oz. And a rude awakening.
Give me 5 more minutes, baby.
What are pals for?
This is how a retired mass murderer acts?
Bruce Willis.
No, this is the way a retired mass murderer acts.
Matthew Perry.
Oh, thank God the killers are here.
The Whole 10 Yards. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, April 9th.
Where's Wallace? Where's Wallace? Where's Wallace? Where's Wallace?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Sierra Mist. Tastes one shockingly refreshing lemon lime.
That's just wrong, Dad.
So you've seen the car. What do you think?
I'm going to show you a figure. And let me know if we can make it happen.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's Mazda's Spring Into Motion sales event. Get huge savings on a huge selection of 2004 Mazdas. Get up to $2,500 cash back or choose 0.0% APR financing for 60 months, plus a $500 bonus through Mazda American Credit Financing. See your Mazda dealer for a test drive. Mazda's Spring Into Motion sales event ends March 31st.
When you retire, will you be sitting here or here? Mutual funds from the Hartford. For people who are always thinking ahead. Ask your advisor.
Top seed Duke on a roll. We've been telling you all afternoon about the injured Chris Duhon. Here's what his coach, Mike Krzyzewski, had to say about his senior.
This is a really tough kid. A lot of kids would not play with this, believe me. This kid is not, you know, taking a walk in the park and smelling the flowers. You know, he's showing his grit right now. But that's what he's done all year, and that's why, you know, we were the number 1 seed.
He did not practice all week. He has had His most extensive work, obviously, in this game. Did not play that much against Alabama State on Thursday.
Well, he's already played as many minutes today as he did against Alabama State on Thursday. And we've shown you a couple replays where it looks like he's backing off a little bit, and I think he is. But I think that gives, that doesn't have anything to do with a lack of toughness. He's also smart. There's a walk inside by Whitney. And if you're Duhon, you have to manage the injuries so you can make the greatest contribution to your team. And Duhon is smart enough to know that he doesn't want to go running full tilt into screens, that it's more important that he's out there running his team than running into a screen and getting himself in so much pain he can't play. So I think he's done a great job managing his own injury thus far.
Here's Sheldon Williams drawing a quick double. Now they go just with Whitney, and that's when Williams decides to move and read it from way outside.
You cannot be serious. Did you see how far away he shot that ball?
He may have been closer to midcourt than was the 3-point line.
That's right. That's right. Here, let's put a ruler down here and see which way is he closer coming. But watch it. He's going to catch this ball, and he seems very... Here's his favorite spot over here, but he's not there. He's further away than that RBC logo. That is a long, long shot.
Ewing picked up his third foul, and he's going to take a breather. And so now Duke with Reddick and Randolph, Williams and Dang, and Duhon remains. Here's John Allen at the free throw line. He's out there with Sweet, Whitney, Morris, and Barrett.
Duhon is the one guy for Duke who has not been out of the game.
Every minute.
And I think maybe that's, we'll have to see how he plays in the second half, but it might be that once he gets loosened up, it'd be harder for him to go out and then try to come back in and get loose again.
Seton Hall 4 of 6 from the free throw line, and Duke is 6 of 6. So far this afternoon, Randolph wide open. Duhon, who's got a couple of points, and on the fly, he can't get it to go. And Seton Hall the other way.
Well, now the Seton Hall zone has slowed Duke down just a little bit. And this is an opportunity for Seton Hall to cut into the lead, but they have not been able to score as effectively as Lewis Orr might want.
Here's Barrett and Randolph with a flash of defense, and he tried to slide it inside. Whitney again meeting Williams. And Sheldon Williams. Make it Dang now is going to get the foul. They're both in there. And coming up in the singular at the half, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will give you the latest tournament news, and they'll have another edition of Tourney Time in the singular one-on-one with Billy Packer Trivia Challenge, which has been fun to watch over the last couple days. That's all coming up on the singular at the half from our studios in New York. Whitney at the line. No cramp problems today. Those cramps took hold of him in the second half against Arizona on Thursday, and you could just tell he was in terrific pain. And Seton Hall now is on a 6-0 run, and anything positive they can do heading into halftime will be a plus when our second half starts. Dang, knocked away, good steal.
Duke has really tried to force things against this zone. The zone has been very effective for the Hall.
Allen with the steal, and Morris with the three. And now Duke will call time in a 9-0 run for the Pirates of Seton Hall from the Big East Conference. Duke led by 18. Seton Hall led early by 3, but now the Hall is on the move with 2:12 to go in the first half.
I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
After 2 separate stays at any Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality, Sleep Inn, Clearing, or Mainstay Suites, you'll earn a free night with Choice Privileges. The more you stay, the more you earn. For reservations or more details, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
Seton Hall's been stretching their legs a little bit here, getting limbered up, and looks like now they have found their groove as they're coached by the third-year man, a former 3-time All-America at Syracuse, Lewis Orr.
Compiled quite a record as a Big East player, an outstanding player, and the first former Big East player to serve also as a head coach in the Big East, and that's an interesting distinction. Duke has not played well against this zone. They've really tried to force the ball inside. Seton Hall has been able to create some turnovers and get some transition opportunities.
Dang. And a rebound by Whitney. With Barrett racing the other way, that's what he does so well.
See, there's that transition opportunity. You take the quick shot from the outside against the zone, or you turn it over. Seton Hall's able to run down before you can set your defense. Duke very fortunate that Barrett missed the shot that he normally makes.
Barrett is the leading scorer for Seton Hall for the season. But so far, he is 0 of 4. Reddick began 4 of 4. He's missed his last 2. Duhan in traffic, knocked away by Sweet. Back out to Deng, and the shot clock at 9. And more of that Seton Hall defense and the tie-up. And I think this is when Seton Hall begins to play better. This is the kind of game they had against Arizona, where the physicality came through, and that seemed to really trigger it.
Duhan, I think, reluctant to shoot the ball from the outside, and he really took it into traffic right there, and the scramble ensues. So no problem for Duhan there with his ribs on that particular play. But Duke, again, not doing a good job protecting the ball. Seton Hall scrambling all over it when Duke tries to get it inside.
Deng is out. They've brought in sophomore Lee Melchione to join Randolph, Williams, Duhan, and Reddick. And Moore is out there with Barrett, Sweet.
Kevin, Duke didn't turn it over at all against the man-to-man defense, but they've turned it over 5 times now against this zone.
Another offensive rebound for Duke as Randolph travels.
Now 6 turnovers against the zone.
Duke with 7 assists and 6 turnovers. Seton Hall with 5 assists and 5 turnovers. Barrett and Randolph on him again. Tried to go inside. Looked like Sweet may have slipped.
He did slip, because that was an easy play right there. A break for Duke, because Randolph had tried to help out Duhan out at the top against the screen, and he was not in position to get that ball. Duke very fortunate.
Duhan is out, and Sean Dockery will come back in the game. And again, the play of Andre Barrett has been one of the bigger surprises of this game. The leading scorer with no points, 0 of 4, and 3 turnovers at the point guard position for the Hall. Reddick from way outside, knocks it in again. That was his second 3-point hit.
The person who had the best shot at blocking that ball was Louis Orr. All he had to do was reach out. I mean, he was in Louis Orr's lap. Are you kidding me?
17 for Reddick. And Barrett again, with Morris putting up a 3. And that's a shove by Randolph inside, trying to chase down that rebound for Duke.
J.J. Reddick. Look, he's standing right in front of Louis Orr. And Louis Orr, he's calling out the defense. But all he had to do is stick that hand out. And Reddick, what a first half he has had. Now, that's only his second 3-point basket of the half. And when he scores a lot of points, you think, wow, he's making all his threes. But Reddick has done a nice job shooting the ball from 2-point range.
Deng is back in. Here's Andre Sweet at the free throw line, a 3-time All-New York City player. His team won a couple of New York State championships, and he attended Duke. Sat out much of his freshman season because of academics. He decides to transfer. He goes to Seton Hall. There's a rebound by Sheldon Williams in the final 22 seconds of this first half.
I think this is an important defensive stand for Seton Hall. Down 18, they've done a nice job cutting into the lead. But after that last 3 by Reddick, another 3 could really be a killer.
Duke is shooting 57%. Williams tried to take it in, and he met all kinds of traffic. And a foul, and Allen and Sweet were in there. And they give it on Allen.
Here's what we're talking about. The 2001 national champion Duke Blue Devils. There is Andre Sweet, a member of that team. It was only team foul number 6 against Seton Hall.
Into Deng, and in congestion, and gets it to go. He was in a straitjacket and somehow got unraveled and puts it in. Deng was fouled by Morris of Seton Hall.
This is a situation where a player just makes a great play. That is a terrible pass by J.J. Reddick. You throw it into all that kind of trouble, but I guess he knows what his teammate can do. Deng goes up in the midst of 4 guys and knocks it down. That is a great, great play in a very difficult situation. And we talked about how Seton Hall didn't want to give up a 3. Well, here they're in a position where they might give up a 3 the old-fashioned way. And we've talked a lot about Reddick, but Deng has had a fine first half as well.
6 of 6 free throws shooting for the Blue Devils this afternoon. That's their first miss. And Whitney can't grab it, and the ball goes out of bounds. It's about a second remaining in the first half clock. Reddick has certainly been the star, and he has been in a funk, and the Duke team was trying to get him uncorked against Alabama State, which they did, especially in the second half. And Mike Krzyzewski has seen his sophomore Reddick go for 17 points, hit a couple of threes, and nail all 5 of his free throws. Here he is again. Not in time. So Duke led by 18. Seton Hall got it down to 9, and at halftime, it's Duke on top by 14, 42-28. Seton Hall, none of their roster had ever played in the NCAA tournament until Thursday. Now against the top seed Duke today. Let's go to Tracy Wolfson.
Chris, how is Duhan holding up out there?
I think he's doing pretty well. Once he got warmed up, you feel like he has his quickness and his strength. He's a little bit rusty on some of his shots. Hopefully the second half he can knock stuff down.
How important is it with Duhan's injury to have guys like Reddick and Deng step up and be a leader for this team?
Oh, it's very important. Chris has carried us all year with his leadership. It's time for those guys to pick him up a little bit.
Thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Duke by 14. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message with Greg Gumbel in New York and a word from your local station.
Okay, Mike, I know you think your truck is totally sick, but this is what I think of your precious 4x4 hang out all day with your stupid friend's truck! Push it!
CBS Monday, one crime scene is about to become 2.
Hey, what are you doing?
He lost a piece of evidence. We have to find it. And the clues to a woman's murder will come from an unexpected source.
Ants. People eat them?
Supposed to be an aphrodisiac. A new CSI Miami, CBS Monday.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Has anybody checked the interior?
Some of the finest leather I've ever seen.
Premium leather?
Power rear door.
Rear seat DVD entertainment system.
Entertainment system?
And navigation.
It's a camera.
It's a rear view camera.
The Lexus RX 330. Putting the world on notice. Again. At your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
Introducing the only minivan with 2 rows of folding floor seats. The all-new 2005 Grand Caravan with exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage.
Honey, you coming?
The lowest priced minivan in America, starting under $19,000.
The 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular Wireless, the wireless company that fits you best.
And welcome once again to our New York studios, everyone, and to Singular at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with His Eminence Clark Kellogg and his assistant, Seth Davis. At halftime, Duke's Blue Devils with a 42-28 lead on the Pirates of Seton Hall. Everything according to your plans here, Mr. Davis?
Well, so far so good. I thought Louis Orr made a brilliant decision there late in the first half. You see the foul
the field goal shooting for Duke. Louis, a smart decision going to the zone defense. It seemed to flummox Duke a bit because there's no team in the ACC that plays a lot of zone, but obviously it didn't work for long enough.
It certainly didn't. Duke really dominant. Seton Hall prides itself on being a good defensive team. Well, they can't control the perimeter, nor have they controlled what's happened inside. And we're going to take a look at an example of what Duke has been able to do to shoot that 59%. Shooting percentage always a function of the kind of shots you get. I've circled Sheldon Williams. That's Chris Duhon at the top with the ball in white. He's going to dribble off a screen set by Sheldon Williams. And then we're going to take a look at not much resistance at all by Seton Hall. No pressure on the basketball, number 21, Duhon. And look how deep Sheldon Williams gets into the paint. And then his defender, Kelly Whitney, is backing up. So that's one way that Duke has been able to dominate. But it's a tough call defensively because Duke can shoot the three and they can throw it in the paint.
You cannot call yourself a good defensive team, though, when you're allowing so many easy baskets down low.
No, they're going to have to ramp it up in the second half defensively.
All right, coming up in our next set of games at about 3:20 Eastern Time, Manhattan meets Wake Forest, and Nevada takes on Gonzaga. Now, over the last several seasons, Gonzaga has matured from Cinderella to second seed. Still, the Bulldogs' best tournament run in 1999 took them only as far as the Elite Eight. This year's senior-laden squad is determined to take that next step along the road to the Final Four.
It's been an amazing season, I mean, especially for 5 seniors on this team to go out like this.
It's been pretty good, you know. We started out the preseason playing a real tough schedule, and, you know, played all over the country. I think we got a 20-game winning streak, so you can't look down on that too much. It's been a pretty good season.
We got a group that's been there, it's experienced, it's hungry, and it's pretty much competed every night out.
Coach Hugh does a good job. He's probably one of the most rational coaches. In clutch situations, he's very clear. Everybody understands what he's saying.
He runs our offense pretty well. He knows what plays to call and who to get the ball to at the right time.
Blake is an amazing player. I really think he's top 3, if not the best player to come out of Gonzaga ever.
Blake's probably the smartest point guard in college basketball, I think.
His passing abilities are overlooked a lot of times because he can score the ball so well, but his eyes and his passes are absolutely ridiculous.
This year I've kind of, you know, almost taken a step down in terms of my role, you know, scoring the ball.
I think his game has changed a little bit this year. He's obviously not scoring as much as he did last year, but he hasn't needed to. He doesn't need to be selfish, and he's not selfish, and that's really important for this team.
I'll score if it's needed, you know, if I'm feeling it, you know, I'll definitely look for my shot, but you know, sometimes you just got to get other people the ball, and you know, it's really been working. We're shooting so good from the field right now that, you know, it's hard not to just kind of distribute.
Couldn't ask for anybody else to be a senior with than the 4 guys we got right now.
I don't really just consider them teammates anymore. They're almost family. I mean, we're around them so much, and I think that really helps this team out.
It's been, you know, a lot of fun to share, especially with this group of guys. We really, you know, come close together. We hang out on and off the court, and it's been a good time.
The fans that we have here and even the whole city of Spokane, as far as a basketball environment goes, it's the best there is.
Gonzaga's the biggest thing going, and there's 500,000 people in this area. It's been great to have that kind of support.
There's nothing more special than playing in front of a crowd that knows you and loves you.
I think they're some of the best fans in the country, and they're a part of this team. It's not just us. We don't go and do these things by ourselves. They're a big help to us.
It's certainly made for a wonderful home environment, you know, to play games in, and we feel very blessed with all the attention focused on us, so we're very fortunate there.
We got to take it one game at a time. You know, everybody always says that, but you know, it's really the truth. You know, those conferences are good, so we're not going to overlook anybody, but you know, hopefully we can make a run like we usually do and see what happens.
It's been a great year so far, but we also have a lot of hopes and dreams still to come in the season, so that's been nice, but we still have a ways to go.
We've had an awesome, incredible season no matter what happens in the NCAA tournament. You know, we understand we can put a, you know, incredible cap on this season that'll be remembered forever, you know, by really playing well in the tourney.
Opinions can and will vary when you ask the question, how far can Gonzaga go? But they start with Seth Davis, who expects to see them hoisting the trophy when all is said and done in San Antonio.
You know, I think they're the best team in the country. We think of Gonzaga as this Cinderella team, but they have tons of NCAA tournament experience. The one team that would worry me in this region, though, is Georgia Tech, because they're very quick. They can try to speed up the game, and they have the great point guard in Jarrett Jack.
I'm really impressed with Gonzaga as well because they've got balance. They can play a number of styles, and they're good defensively and mixing zone and man-to-man, and I like the tournament experience they have. But I look for UConn to prevail as the NCAA champion on April 5th, I think it will be.
Check your calendars, everyone. Time now for the Singular One-on-One with Billy Packer Trivia Challenge. Who holds the record for most points scored in an NCAA tournament game with 61? Is it Allen Iverson of Georgetown, Indiana State's Larry Bird, Austin Carr of Notre Dame? For a chance to win the trip to the Final Four, send a text message to 26222 or log on to cbssportsline.com/2NCAA. We'll have the answer during the next halftime. Coming up, look out, Clark and Seth engage in a spirited round of tourney time when Singular at the Half continues on CBS.
Is taste just a temptation? Is flavor just a fantasy? Introducing Carb Options, an irresistible new assortment of sauces, dressings, and spreads for anyone counting carbs, from names you can count on. We know how you like it. New Carb Options, taste you can count on.
Quick, in the top 5 water polo players in the world. Okay, how about 1? Yeah. I didn't start playing water polo to get famous. And the same goes for being a biology major. I like working in protein chemistry. Quick, in the top 5 protein chemists in the world.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Coca-Cola presents the month-long Crazy Ride.
This is what you dream about when you play basketball from the time you're a little kid. Let's go out here and play and win.
Let's go! Let's go! We're playing the best team in the nation or the worst team in the nation. We play the same way.
We didn't come here to come close, and we came here to win the game.
Wednesday.
She was alive, and she was entombed.
Don't miss the final 90 seconds of CSI on a special night.
Get your kid.
Wednesday at 10/9 Central.
Welcome back to Singular at the Half. Proof that wishes do come true. It's time now for another edition of Tourney Time, the quiz game that has swept America by storm. Our first question, guys. Which of the 4 #1 seeds will be the first to fall in this tournament? Clark won the coin toss this morning and elected to answer first.
Well, it's a tough call, but I think St. Joe's is simply starting with today's matchup against Texas Tech. Again, their vulnerability is on the front line. They don't have as much strength as some of the teams they may face. I look forward to a matchup with Wake Forest, perhaps, if they get by Texas Tech, and that front line will be too strong for them.
I hope Martelli's not watching. I'm going with Kentucky. I love the Wildcats, but they struggled against Florida A&M. I just think they have a tough road ahead, potentially. UAB with Kansas and either Gonzaga or Georgia Tech. That's a tough road for the Wildcats, I think.
All right, guys. Secondly, a pair of number 5 seeds failed to survive the first round. Which will be the highest seeds to go down in round 2? Seth?
I'm going to go with Wake Forest down to the ACC as a number 4 seed. I just love what Manhattan does. Wake likes to get up and down the floor. The Jaspers will not back down from them, and I think Wake tends to forget about their big guys inside a little bit. That should also play to Manhattan's advantage.
I disagree because I think the front line will be the difference in that game, but my pick to go down in the second round, the highest seed, would be Pittsburgh. Wisconsin is just as good as Pittsburgh is defensively, but better offensively, and don't forget about the advantage Wisconsin has in playing in Milwaukee.
All right, guys, question 3. Couple of teams, UAB, Xavier, Manhattan, Memphis. Contender or pretender, Mr. Kellogg?
Well, since I only have 2 choices, I've got to go pretender for Mike Anderson's UAB squad because they're facing Kentucky, who I think will play a better game than they did last night. When you look at Xavier, they're one of the hottest teams in the tournament. That was a very impressive comeback win against Louisville, so I call them a contender. You look at Manhattan, I love their toughness. They're not a big team, but they play with grit and tenacity, and in Luis Flores, they have a terrific player who can carry a team. I'll call them a contender. And then Memphis really got great 3-point shooting in their first round win.
but I look for them to be on the pretending side.
Well, Clark, you've been loving UAB all year. I can't believe you're abandoning them now when they really need you, man.
Got to look at the matchups, Seth. Got to look at the matchups.
They are a contender, no doubt about it. They showed it last night. Also, remember, Kentucky had problems with that up-and-down game, so UAB is going to give them a tough task. I'm going to say pretender on Xavier. They've come on late in the year, but Mississippi State is just very tough. I think that's going to be game over for Xavier. Manhattan, they are a contender. New York City's finest, as I said. I think they're going to take down Wake Forest. And Memphis, I think, caught a bad break. I'm going to say they're a pretender because Oklahoma State has already had their bad first-round game. I think the Cowboys will rebound in convincing fashion.
All right, guys, question number 4. Name the unheralded player that's going to emerge as a surprise star in the tournament. Seth.
Well, I'm going with J.R. Gittens, the freshman at Kansas. We talk about their veterans and Miles Langford and Simeon, but Gittens has really been their best player the last month. Not only is he a terrific athlete, which we already knew, but he has emerged as a terrific three-point scorer, and I love his attitude and his competitiveness.
Well, I like that pick, although you've always talked about freshmen being kind of shaky when it comes to tournament time. I'm going to look at Joey Graham. He's a tough scorer, can handle the ball. He's the third spoke in the Oklahoma State offensive wheel, and typically those kinds of guys emerge as we go forward in the tournament.
Gentlemen, thank you. You both get the free room full of furniture and the dishwasher. Thank you for joining us here on Singular at the Half. We'll get you back to Raleigh for the second half of Seton Hall and Duke after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular Wireless, the wireless company that fits you best.
That ought to do it. Oh, you're going international, huh?
That's the plan.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Hey, Frank, little help!
Here you go, guys.
Hey, ragazzi!
Hey, Franco! Mi aiuti?
Ci vediamo.
Ciao, Franco.
Ciao.
Ecco i pacchi dall'America.
Sì, lavoriamo con l'estero, eh?
Ti ringrazio. Complimenti.
Global shipping with a very familiar face. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our academic research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. Over 65% of our mutual funds beat their 1, 5, and 10-year Lipper averages. We have the experience to know what works and the insight to find real opportunity. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
Imagine steak and shrimp, or shrimp and steak. Imagine having both of these on just one plate.
Applebee's new steak and shrimp double features. Get happy.
So happy together.
You never know when you'll need allergy medicine. That's why there's Alivert. Alivert starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue, without water. It's prescription-strength, non-drowsy relief. Even Claritin can't beat. Alivert, right when you need it, wherever you are.
There are two sides to me. The all-conference catcher side, that's my tough side. And the side of me studying for a career in marine mammal rescue, that's my soft side. I'm finding I really need both sides to be the whole person that I want to be.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Your ultimate online sports experience. For the fastest scores, stats, and first-rate fantasy sports, go to cbssportsline.com.
Top seed Duke up by 14 at halftime with their J.J. Redick pouring in 17. Wednesday, it's a special night for Survivor. What happens when the All-Stars don't know the camera's running? Survivor All-Stars on a special night. Wednesday on CBS, America's Most Watched Network. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship continues after this word from your local CBS station.
I pull for the underdog. I yell at the coaches, blast the refs. I pray, curse, cry. I will drop down on my knees and beg for a three-pointer from half court.
Play your way to the NCAA Final Four with Singular. You can be entered weekly for a trip for two every time you send and receive a text, instant, or a multimedia message, and every time you download games and ringtones. The more you do, the better your chances.
Yeah, baby.
Play your way to the NCAA Final Four. Another way Singular fits you best.
Don't miss Cold Case, TV's most watched new drama, Sundays on CBS.
BMW X3, the ultimate driving machine.
Small business owners don't like limits. Limits don't encourage, motivate, or inspire. So we're removing them. Introducing RBC Unlimited Long Distance for Business. Unlimited nationwide long distance for a flat $20. Seeing small business differently. SBC.
Now get to your local Pontiac dealer and leave your checkbook at home. Lease any new 2004 Pontiac. With nothing due at signing, no down payment, no security deposit, no first month's payment. That means qualified lessees can lease a 2004 Pontiac Vibe for around $216 a month with nothing due at signing. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra. Call for lease details. This offer ends March 31st. See your Chicagoland Pontiac dealer today.
Junior center Craig Forth is the anchor of Syracuse's defense. But off the court, he's more concerned with being at the center of a child's future. He regularly works with young students, especially those with disabilities, to help them achieve more than they ever thought possible.
As far as working with individual kids, you know, it's great to see they really do succeed and they really do go pretty far. Just being able to, you know, hold your head up high and know that you had a part in it.
At Microsoft, we see your potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
CBS Sports' exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, Miller, UPS, and by the new Chevrolets.
Duke led by 18, and as we go to the second half, they're up by 14. Let's go to Tracy Wolfson, who's standing by with Seton Hall coach Louis Orr.
Coach, a tough first half. What changes will you make to get your team back in it?
Well, we got to get stops on the defensive end. I thought our zone was effective at the end of the first half. We're going to try to work that, but we got to do a better job on the defensive end, and then we can get in transition. Right now, we're not getting stops, and we have to play all half-court basketball. We got to be able to get stops and get in transition.
Thanks a lot.
Tracy, thank you. Duke broke away from a 20-15 lead with a 15-2 run to go up 18 as we start the second half, and Reddick again sails in, this time not from way outside, but as he slashes in for two.
And you heard Louis Orr just say that his team was struggling playing half-court offense, and there's a perfect example. Duke gets a steal in the half-court and converts it into an easy basket. Seton has really struggled against the set Duke defense. Much better success in transition before the Devils have been able to get established.
Whitney goes inside, and Williams with a little hand check and a Duke foul on their sophomore center. And through 20 minutes, here are some of the numbers.
And the numbers really startling. Duke shooting 60%. Duke dominating on the inside and dominating the offensive, the backboard. Seton Hall only 3 offensive rebounds in the first half. When you're struggling to shoot it, you've got to get easy opportunities.
Andre Barrett spoon feeds Marcus Toniel. Whitney had a hand on it, but there goes Duhan chasing another loose ball. And Barrett 0 of 4 in this game. Williams again going up and double teamed inside, and Whitney gets it down.
Boy, Mike Krzyzewski very upset at the moment. He felt like there should have been foul call.
That's the transition you're talking about right there.
Exactly. I think the Duke guys were a little slow getting down court. Sheldon Williams having some discussion about whether or not that should have been a foul that slowed the transition defense down. Now Seton Hall able to set the zone.
Here's Ewing playing with 3 fouls as Williams battles Whitney. And Duhan slides it in for Dang, who is crushed as he goes up against Sweet. He picks up the foul. That's number 1 on him.
We talked about Chris Duhan and his injury in the first half. He only took 4 shots for the Duke Blue Devils. Seemed to have some problem trying to guard the quicker guys outside. Seemed to have some problem with his patented moves into the lane. But I'll tell you what, I thought he did a great job, and we talked about it all, managing that injury. You have to understand your value to the team, and you don't go plowing into somebody and re-injuring yourself. I thought he did a great job being intelligent, making the plays he could, backing off when he couldn't make a play.
Duke 8 of 9 from the free throw line with Duhan, Dang, Ewing, Williams, and Reddick. That's the Duke 5. Barrett, Sweet, John Allen, Whitney, and Marcus Toniel, the Seton Hall 5 as we start this second half. There's Allen with Ewing on him. Altered the shot. Then it comes back out to Duke, and they race the other way. Reddick is on the wing, and Ewing through traffic. And scoops it off to Dang.
Boy, just very discouraged looks on the faces of the Seton Hall players.
And Duke has equaled their biggest lead today, 18 over the Hall.
They're coming. 10 new cars and trucks. The new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
Well, we're looking for an easy way to stay in touch. Because I want to know what, Audrey is doing. And you too, Dennis. Randy with his swimming. Lacrosse.
So it's a problem.
Yeah, I got just what you're looking for.
Bring your number to Sprint and get unlimited night minutes starting at 7 p.m. And right now, get unlimited anytime minutes for the first 2 months on select new service plans starting at $50. Sprint PCS.
Oh, hey, Stu. New tie?
No,
Hey, Stu. Waxed your back?
not lately.
Hey, Stu.
Did you take care of that rash? Nope.
Whoa! You going commando?
No.
Did you see your...
No. I saw my bartender. He told me to try this.
If you want to have it all, great taste, fewer calories, and half the carbs of Bud Light, talk to your bartender. Great taste, less filling, Miller Lite. Good call.
Maybe.
Yes, sir! A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Welcome back to Raleigh. The Blue Devils up 18 right now over Seton Hall. I spoke to the Duke trainers at the half about Duhan, and they said there was nothing they could do for him. He's already wrapped up, so he's just going to have to continue to give it a go.
I think, Dan, you've said the best thing about his injury. He is managing that injury, and it's not going to get any better from now. And if they make it all the way to San Antonio, it'll be still the same injury.
It's like, I think it's like playing with fouls. You have to pick and choose your spots. If you got 3 fouls and you're an important guy on the team, you're in the game, you just have to play with some intelligence. And I think that's what Duhan's managing with this injury. There, another turnover by Seton Hall against the set Duke defense. So Duhan isn't making all the plays he's capable of making, isn't making some of the plays he normally makes, but I think he's doing a great job here running this offense.
He's doing a good job against Barrett, the top man on Seton Hall, who's 0 of 4.
Really impressed with the way his Duke teammates are helping him on the screens, though.
Ewing dives in the lane. Allen gets the rebound for Seton Hall, and here comes the aforementioned Barrett. He slings it out to Toniel. Rebound by Williams. And now he has 8, and Duke in the rebounding category is plus 11.
I think Morris is going to get up off the bench and come in for Toniel. If you're going to get that jumper in transition, you need somebody who can make it. Marcus Toniel, just not that guy.
Williams try to keep it alive. Well, Duke is playing Seton Hall, and the winner of this game will go to the Sweet 16. And that will be in Atlanta next weekend and face either Illinois or Cincinnati. And then out in Denver, North Carolina will play Texas later today.
And then in Orlando, Xavier against Mississippi State to fill out the Atlanta Regional.
One of the interesting things about this tournament, only 4 higher seeds went down, and so this is a tournament where your second round games, you know how everybody gets the brackets and say, boy, the potential second round matchup between so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, you've got that this year for the most part.
J.R. Morris has checked in the game for Seton Hall. Taking the place is Sweet. They get it up to Ewing. Duke, the ACC regular season champions, and Seton Hall out of the Big East was tied for 5th with Boston College. Duke the 1 seed and Seton Hall number 8. Seton Hall took care of Arizona, the 9 seed on Thursday. Duhan tried to hook it in, and Copeland, who just checks in, picks up the foul. It's the first on Copeland. Look at the national championships that these teams have won. Teams that are inside this Atlanta region.
Of course, Louisville is out, Arizona's out, but Cincinnati, North Carolina, and Duke still playing. In fact, interestingly enough, since North Carolina and Duke are in that bracket, conceivably they could meet in the regional final. Long way to go before we start talking about that. And the Texas Longhorns, I think, are going to have a great deal to say about that very soon.
J.R. Morris picks up his 2nd foul. No one on Seton Hall with more than 2 fouls, and Ewing has got 3 for Duke. As we're just under 17 minutes to play in the second half, Duhan with the slash and the feed to Randolph.
You know, I think if you're Seton Hall, your normal defensive play is to go and try to stop the ball. But if it's Duhan driving into the lane, I think you lay off of him a little bit and try to cover the guy he might pass it to.
Barrett needed that in the worst way, his first 2 points. And now in the paint, Duke has outscored Seton Hall 30-14.
Seton Hall has gone very small with Copeland and Barrett in the game at the same time.
Reddick, Williams. Duke is shooting 55% with passing shots like that by Duhan.
Now that's really the first time that Duhan has been able to get all the way to the goal through traffic and convert. Duhan cutting right down the lane. Again, playing with no fear right there, and he doesn't really take a lot of contact, but he's able to draw the foul. Now here he penetrates the basket. Guess what I'm talking about? Everybody goes to cover him. Maybe let him go to the basket and concentrate on the available receivers rather than trying to go get him.
Duhan is 68% free throw shooter. John Allen picks up foul number 3 for the Hall. And Wake Forest is awaiting number 12, Manhattan. Whitney is open as he sheds the defense of Williams, who committed on top.
One of the very few easy baskets that Seton Hall has been able to convert against the set Duke defense. Now, Seton Hall, they're out of the zone, of course, back into the man-to-man. They need to get some stops on the defensive end. Barrett's going to get called for the foul, hanging on to Reddick. Preferably, if you're Seton Hall, transition kind of turnovers where you can go down and get easy baskets.
They needed a game that had some muscle from Kelly Whitney. He's got 10 points and 4 rebounds, but they're going to need more to get by Duke today.
It's the Mighty Mouse of cars. Meet the surprisingly big Chevy Aveo.
Now we can roll all day. I got a full Now we can roll all day. Ride all night.
It's only little on the outside. Meet the surprisingly big Chevy Aveo. The new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
Every square inch of Putnam Investments strives for consistent, dependable, superior performance over the long term. For good reason. You. At Putnam Investments, we urge you to consider the investment objective, risks, charges, and fees for any fund. Ask your financial advisor or plan sponsor for a prospectus containing this and other information. Read it carefully before you invest. There's no assurance any fund will be able to meet its objective.
Now, I don't want to scare anyone, but with thinning hair, you could end up looking like this. It's
not a good thing.
Get new V for Men thickening shampoo for up to 50% thicker looking hair for better scalp coverage. New V for Men by L'Oreal Paris.
This is crabgrass. I don't want to see crabgrass in my lawn.
My wife actually hates crabgrass.
Nobody would want this in their lawn. We put down Scott's turf builder with Hulks in the early spring.
That's the only thing I ever use. Scott's puts this protective barrier over the lawn.
And it stops the crabgrass from germinating.
See how nice and thick that is?
Feels like the carpet inside my house. Well, I've used the cheap brands. And it's like anything else. You get what you pay for. Steve doesn't have any crabgrass, which makes him a good human being, basically. Turf builder with Hulks. The best defense against crabgrass.
See why critics say Century City is wonderfully cast with genuinely compelling stories.
I'm glad she has you on her side.
Century City at a special time, CBS tonight.
Duke by 19. They've led by 21. In the first round Thursday, Duke beat Alabama State by 35. Then we have the matchup between 9th-seeded Arizona, number 8 Seton Hall. That lived up to the hype. Arizona had a 14-point lead in the second half. Then Seton Hall turned it on, led by Kelly Whitney and Andre Barrett. The Pirates pulled out the victory. Whitney had the double-double, and Barrett had 19 points. And that's what Louis Orr was looking for this afternoon. But Whitney's got 10 so far, and Barrett with just 2 in this game against Duke.
And in a 6.5-minute span in that second half the other night against Arizona, Seton Hall put together a 23-5 run. And that's certainly what Louis Orr is looking for right now. Not going to get it done putting the Duke Blue Devils on the free throw line, however, where they shoot it very, very well.
Sweet picks up the foul. He now has 3. Allen has 3. And for Duke, Ewing with 3. That's the updated foul situation as you take a look at the 2-time high school player of the year in the state of Oklahoma, Sheldon Williams. His AAU team was also a national champion, so he accomplished a lot. He comes to Duke. He's in his sophomore year out of Forest Park, Oklahoma. How in the world did he get away from those Big 12 coaches? Rick Barnes at Texas and Kelvin Sampson at OU.
Well, that's a good question.
Quinn Snyder at Missouri.
And it's a 4-letter answer. The attraction of Duke.
That's exactly right.
I mean, Duke is certainly a national program. The kind of success that they have. You know, if you're an outstanding high school basketball player, when Duke comes calling, you're certainly going to take a look.
Woody Sutton at Oklahoma State. That team is looking good and a high seed in this tournament. But he slipped under the grasp of those coaches and ends up in Durham. Here's Barrett and foul away from the ball. Maybe Shavlik Randolph. Perhaps Williams. They were both there, and it's Sheldon Williams who picks up number 3. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select the Chevy MVP from each team. And today, Chevrolet has contributed more than $8 million to the general scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
Now, if you're looking for a potential Achilles heel for these Duke Blue Devils, it's the fact that Sheldon Williams, now on the bench, tends to get in foul trouble, and Duke sometimes struggles on the inside when he's on the bench with fouls.
Whitney now only has 1 for Seton Hall, and he's the guy that has been battling with Williams a good part of the afternoon.
And this is a Duke lineup against which Seton Hall ought to be able to use some of their power.
Barrett, here comes Whitney inside as he throws it down. And that's the kind of thing that it wasn't as easy to do when Williams was in the game for the Blue Devils.
Williams out of the game now. Duke with Reddick and Deng and Randolph along the front line, and they are just not as powerful as some of the guys from Seton Hall they're playing against.
J.J. Reddick, the game's leading scorer. Fanning there. He's got 19 points. Deng has 13. 12 for Whitney for Seton Hall. Barrett from outside, and rebound by Deng, who slips but gets it off to Duhan.
And if you're going to go on a big run, you need to convert, and that doesn't mean you have to score every time down, but Seton Hall needs to be getting baskets at a much higher percentage.
Barrett with the foul right there.
Let's take a look at Whitney right here and watch the lane open up as he just goes down through the lane for Seton Hall. Randolph goes to the corner. Nobody picks up Whitney. And again, without the bulk of Sheldon Williams in there, Whitney uninhibited going to the goal.
And they also lose the game's leading rebounder. Williams has 8 rebounds. And Reddick, again, hits from the free throw line, where today he is a perfect 6 of 6 team fouls. Seton Hall has 8 and Duke with 2. And Barrett just picked up number 3 for the Hall.
And that's another thing that's going to make a comeback difficult, because Every time Duke is fouled now, they're going to the line, and as we mentioned, they're a great free throw shooting team, 73%, and of course, put a guy like Redick on the line is automatic.
Drive inside by J.R. Morris, who's a sophomore from Milwaukee. Chadwick Randolph, one of a couple players in the way, and Randolph picks up his third foul. So now for Mike Krzyzewski, there are some concerns with a lot of time left, 14.5 minutes in the second half. Morris at the line.
Mike Krzyzewski, though, with the big lead at the moment, and so that makes things a little easier.
So Duke is in a very familiar position, being the top seed. 6 of the last 7 seasons, they've held that distinction coming into the tournament. Seton Hall, with just their second tournament appearance in the past 10 seasons, their first in the last 4.
Well, for these guys on Seton Hall's team, Kevin, that win they had the other night against Arizona was their first postseason win, NCAA or NIT.
Duke at 55% shooting and Seton Hall at 40% shooting for the game. Ewing, who had 19 points the other night, with none this afternoon, but they've gotten plays like that from Chadwick Randolph, who is from right here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And one of the problems that Seton Hall has had all day long, very little pressure on the basketball. The Duke guys handling the ball on the perimeter have all the time they need to find somebody inside.
There's John Allen grinding inside and bumping into Redick, and another rebound by Duke. That's the 4th for Randolph. And Duke is plus 13 in rebounding in the game. Duke is at 2 threes, and Redick has offered both of those. Randolph again inside, jousting with Whit. Always held inside.
Chadwick Randolph working for position inside. You can see no pressure on Luol Deng. He's got all day to look inside and find Randolph. And I don't care how good a defender you are on the inside. If the guy on the perimeter isn't getting any pressure, he's going to be able to find that man on the interior.
Ewing 0 of 4 this afternoon. Here's Duhan. Bad rib and all. And that was deflected. And here comes Barrett with Ewing right there. Trailers on the way. And
what a nice little maneuver by Barrett. Some spin in English on that baby. I thought it might stay up there for a while.
He's gotten a couple baskets now the hard way in this second half. You're just looking for something to kind of trigger his game.
Seton Hall drops back into the zone now.
And that was successful in the first half at times. Ewing finally gets his first basket of the game. It's a 3, and he's 1 of 5.
They had a 6-minute stretch in the first half. Did Seton Hall where that zone was very, very effective.
Seton Hall's at a couple of threes, and Barrett penetrates and gets it off and into John Allen.
Seton Hall doing a nice job getting the ball close to the basket. They need more of that, but they need stops on the defensive end. You obviously can't trade baskets down 20 points.
Not making up any ground.
And that's the key. This is the time where they have to start making up some ground to put some pressure on Duke.
Duhan bumped from behind by Morris. Seton Hall's forward picks up the foul.
Seton Hall has had much better luck in transition than they have against the set defense. And one of the reasons is you have guys who can finish in transition like this. That was an extremely difficult shot. Next possession, penetration inside again, a transition situation. Duke defense not rotating properly. And Mike Krzyzewski gets Sheldon Williams back in the game. Seton Hall has had some success on the inside with Williams on the bench.
And Dockery comes in for the first time in the second half with Duhan, Redick, Deng, and Dan just mentioned Williams back in. Bill Meyer has now come in the game for Whitney, who's going to take a breather on the side for the Pirates. Barrett remains. They've also got Sweet back in the game with Morris and John Allen. That sets the lineup. Both teams with 12:20 to play in the second half.
Duke doing a great job from the free throw line. And did you see the expression on Chris Duhan's face after he made that first free throw? This guy is really gutting it out.
And his coach had a lot of admiration. He saw a quick flip. Here's Barrett with 3. Seton Hall has gone 2 of 11 shooting threes this afternoon. Duhan tried to throw it inside, and Barrett got in the way, and it's Duke still in control.
And Seton Hall back to the man-to-man.
Deng. 13 for him. 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
Krzyzewski trying to direct his troops over there. Williams really wanted the ball inside. He's a little bit upset he didn't get it.
We're going to Williams, who just steamrolls Sweet.
Boy, that is a break for the Duke Blue Devils. Sweet reached around and got the foul, but Williams just lowered that shoulder and banged away. And this is a guy who has 3 fouls, and he has got to be careful with that. You know, muscle inside is one thing, but you can't just go pushing people around. Sweet with 4 fouls now. Generally, if you lower that shoulder inside and hit a guy in the chest, the foul is going to be called against you. Duhan finds him on the inside. Just lowers that shoulder and bangs away. Sweet was reaching in. That's just kind of a situation where you just maintain your ground, let him knock you over, and draw the charge.
Duke had entered this tournament losing 4 of their last 10, and it was the first time into the NCAA tournament that Duke had entered with a loss in the ACC tournament in 6 years. They're off to a good start, winning the first game by 35, and up now 66-42 over the Hall.
Nokia, connecting people.
Inside Fort Knox is $56 billion. Try to get in the door, they'll handcuff you on the spot. Inside AIG is over $600 billion. Try to get in the door, and we'll open it for you. Give you a cup of coffee, and loan you money to fix up your house. Consumer loans, insurance, retirement. AIG. We know money.
The new Colorado Z71 with an available 220 horsepower engine.
You're it.
Don't let all that power go to your head. Chevy, an American revolution.
Wednesday on a special night. Has a budding romance gone to a new level?
2 beautiful women want to make a sandwich out of me. Would you say no?
Survivor All-Stars on a special night, Wednesday.
Duke's got their biggest lead this afternoon here in round 2. Atlanta bracket. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina with Dan Bonner, Kevin Harlan. You take a look at Andre Barrett. One of the really nice stories in college basketball took place in late February on senior night at Seton Hall.
Of course, Barrett wears number 12. That number was retired at Seton Hall, belonged to the late Richie Regan. And Andre Barrett was given permission by Richie to wear that number. And on senior night, at his own request, he returned number 12 to the Regan family. A tremendous gesture by Andre Barrett. It was funny talking to the Seton Hall media administrators, and I said, well, whose idea was that? And they said, well, they wished it was their idea, but it was entirely Andre Barrett.
Here comes Barrett. Shot clock down to 10. John Allen for 3. And it's only the 3rd three-point hit in 12 tries by the Pirates this afternoon.
And that Duke is really playing well. You're field from the free throw line, totally dominating the boards. It's no wonder the score is what it is, but the game is not out of the reach of Seton Hall yet. They've got to put together a little run, put some pressure on Duke. Duke just playing very comfortably right at the moment.
Dang inside against Bill Meyer and squeezing his way into Whitney. Bill Meyer picks up the foul. Sunday on CBS, when Americans are taken hostage, they turn to this man to rescue them. Russell Crowe, Meg Ryan, and David Caruso star in the network premiere of Proof of Life. That's Sunday on CBS, America's most watched network.
And actually, that's something that Louis Orr is looking for from Seton Hall right now, proof of life. And he'd like him to show it on the defensive end, getting some turnovers, creating some easy baskets.
20 free throw attempts for Duke. Seton Hall with 12. We've had no ties and 3 lead changes as Barrett wanted to wheel inside with a whistle blown by Eddie Hightower. And a foul, and it goes on Sean Dockery. That's the first on the sophomore from Chicago for Duke.
And you get the idea that Barrett is just not going to go down here without doing everything he can. He is just really working to get the ball close to the basket.
Allen hit a 3 on the other side the last time, missing that 3 this time. And out of bounds off of Duke with 10:25 to play. Manhattan. As the New York media have been on them last couple days. My goodness, they've got one of the most energetic coaches in the game in Bobby Gonzalez, and they are next here in Raleigh.
And one of the college basketball's best scorers. How could you not like that score?
It's Bill Meyer inside.
And they're the Jaspers, for heaven's sakes.
Approaching the halfway point of this second half. Redick, who's had the hot hand, especially in the first half when he had 17, has 21 for the game. Manhattan, the 12 seed, pulled up the first big upset of the tournament in the very first game when they beat 5 Southeastern Conference power Florida. And here you see games in Milwaukee and Kansas City coming your way. Over the next couple days, those games will be tomorrow.
Well, Manhattan, Pacific, Nevada, and UAB, the only higher seeded teams or lower seeded teams, whatever you want to say it. Is it golf or is it basketball? I don't know. But the only teams just pull the upsets according to the seedings in the first round of the tournament.
Well, when they're talking about Manhattan, they're going to face the big Southeastern Conference power in Florida. And Manhattan says, wait a minute, we consider this something that we should have done. We should have beaten Florida. Foul inside. It goes on Bill Meyer for the 3rd time for Seton Hall.
Well, Louis Orr has Bill Meyer and Whitney in the game at the same time, trying to create some of that tough power game on the inside. Hasn't really worked out very well to this point. Just looking for options is Louis Orr right at the moment, trying to find something that works because time is rapidly dwindling away here. If Seton Hall is going to make a run, they've got to get started on that run very, very soon.
Duke was in the top 10 of college basketball all season long. They came into this tournament number 6 in the AP poll. One of the admirable things about their game this afternoon has been that they have held on to basically the same size lead, and you've talked there. That's not easy to do, whether it's a tournament or a regular season game. To lead by that much and not rest and not keep that intensity. That's a real tribute to the Duke kids of today.
They've been very strong defensively. They have rebounded the ball very effectively, and they've had a nice combination of inside and outside on the offensive end.
Dockery was defending, and Allen went down. Dockery picks up number 2. Duke has had their last 8 points come from the free throw line. You can see their advancement to the Sweet 16 6 consecutive times and trying for a 7th consecutive Sweet 16 appearance. Barrett.
Well, again, Barrett continues to do whatever he can do. He needs some help from his teammates, however. With a big lead like this, Duke is able to run through some options on their offense, move the ball. The one thing, if you're the Duke Blue Devils, you want to be patient, but you don't want to get conservative. They have really done a nice job being efficient on offense while attacking, and you want to keep that attack mode going.
Duhon has played a lot of minutes today, and he takes it in where there's a lot of bumping and pushing, and he will go to the free throw line.
And he came up a little bit gingerly on that particular play. But this is what Duhon didn't do early in the game, but now he sees the opening and goes hard to the basket. Now, you know, jumping up in the air and landing hard when you've got some bad ribs, just try that sometime.
Impeccable free throw shooting by Duke today, 22 of 23.
And you notice that, oh boy, Shavlik Randolph grabs him around the ribs. He's going to get, somebody's going to talk to him about that. You know, there's not going to be any chest bumping for Chris Duhon for a while.
Other end, Whitney. Duke gets back and will try to prevent him from going up again. And here's another foul. Duke has led for so much of this game by as many as 24, and now by 21. You just wonder when Mike might take out Duhon and let him just rest. And here comes Dang back in the game.
I don't think that Mike Krzyzewski is comfortable, even though he's got the big lead. There's still 8.5 minutes left in the game, and he saw that Seton Hall Arizona game. He knows what Seton Hall is capable of doing. So I don't think you'll see Chris Duhon leave just yet. Come on. That's the way things have gone today for Whitney. After such a tremendous game yesterday, this one is just a bit outside. Oh boy, Sheldon Williams ran into Chris Duhon getting that rebound, and as he handed him the ball, Williams asked Duhon if he was okay. Man-to-man defense for Seton Hall. Again, not a lot of pressure on the ball, though. The Duke guys are sort of able to take it wherever they want to and do whatever they want to do once they get there.
And that's one of the biggest surprises, because against Arizona, they were on the ball. Their on-ball defense was substantial. Ewing with the miss. Williams reels it in and went over Billmeyer with another foul called inside. And that's what this game has basically become now, a possession with a foul inside each time.
Chris Duhon banging on the inside, and then here comes Sheldon Williams down on top of him. And you can see Duhon trying to get out of there quickly, and just out of your view is Williams asking if he's okay.
Duke has led most of the way, and they're eyeing another Sweet 16.
Why AT&T Wireless?
It's what Sam did.
And why did Sam?
It's what Earl did.
And Earl? Right, but comparing high-speed wireless data networks, Sprint covers 25 million more people than AT&T Wireless in places we do business. Anyone consider this? 25 million people convince me. And them too.
Get better high-speed data coverage. Get the facts at Sprint.com. One Sprint, many solutions.
(72-51). It's Duke with 7:58 to play in the game here in Raleigh. Williams.
Well, you can note that Morris, we just showed you sitting on the bench, he is fouled out of the game, and he is a very capable scorer for Seton Hall. And so with Morris out of there, that's going to make Seton Hall's chance for a comeback all that much more difficult.
Here comes Barrett out there with Sweet, Allen, Billmeyer, and Whitney. That is the Seton Hall 5. With Sweet on the run, the former Duke Blue Devil puts it in. Now this afternoon he has 7 points. He had missed the last 5 from the field. Duhon, Dockery, Deng, Ewing, and Sheldon Williams on the floor for the Blue Devils.
And Seton Hall back in the zone defense.
Dockery, McDonald's All-America. A no-look pass inside for Williams. Deng then tried to tap it. And the subsequent scrum. And a foul has just been thrown on Allen as he was on the ball in the bottom of that pile.
A little bit of frustration, I'm sure, for Seton Hall right there, and the Duke guys really going after it. Really a force into the zone, and Deng and Williams lock up with one another, knock one another down.
He was on the ball, protecting the ball, and then
you got a technical foul called against Allen. Let's see if they called a technical foul against one of the Duke players. They're sort of eyeing Daniel Ewing. Maybe Ewing said something.
Ed Hightower is our crew chief this afternoon, and he has officiated many Final Fours, many semifinal games, championship weekend.
The situation, the ball on the floor, people going after it. Ed Hightower very emphatic in calling the technical foul on Allen. Allen actually kicked him, pushed him off with the foot. I guess that's the definition of a kick, though.
I guess so, yeah. Ewing will be at the free throw line. Lewis will be his first from the stripe.
Boy, and Ewing just really having a tough time today shooting the basketball.
And he was so proficient in his game against Alabama State with 19 and did it with such ease against the Hornets on Thursday. Ewing again. And they'll take a timeout. Duke has been up by as many as 24, now by 21 here in Raleigh.
Hey, Dad.
Yep.
You remember the other day when we were talking about careers and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
When you said the trick is to find something that fits who you are and what's important to you?
Mm-hmm.
Something that makes you feel good about yourself?
Son, if you find something that does all that, you're already miles ahead of most people.
Do you have the right truck? The best-selling half-ton regular and extended cab is now available as a crew cab. Introducing the new Silverado half-ton crew. It's the right truck from Chevy.
It's NCAA March Madness.
And Papa John's is part of the action.
Tell us about it, Papa John.
First, get any large specialty pizza for a winning price.
And what about the ball?
Yes, get a limited edition Final Four basketball and a Coke for just $5.99.
Get a limited edition basketball and any 2-liter of Coca-Cola for just $5.99 when you buy any large Papa John's specialty pizza for just $10.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Call now and have a ball.
People love that ball.
One day you wake up and find a few hairs on your pillow. Next day, they're dribbling your head down the court.
Get new V for Men thickening shampoo for up to 50% thicker looking hair for better scalp coverage. New V for Men by L'Oreal Paris.
Why do we rent from Enterprise? Because having the right car makes all the difference.
Grandma, look, they're here. Hi, Grandma.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Will the family find a cure for Race Brothers' little eating problem?
Why don't you get one of those funnels the dogs wear around their neck and just throw the food in there?
On New Raymond, CBS Monday.
Well, this puts it into pretty good perspective for Duke and their dominance today over 8th seed Seton Hall, a team that had beaten Arizona on Thursday to advance to the round of 32. Allen, Sweet, Allen over Deng. There's 7 minutes left in the game, and Seton Hall trails 74-55.
Seton Hall with a smaller lineup in the game. They're back with Copeland and Barrett on the court at the same time. They're going to try to apply some pressure. Need to force some turnovers. This is a Duke team, as dominant as they've been on the offensive end. They have not been making three-point baskets. Only 3 threes in the entire ball game, but nonetheless, they've done a great job on the boards. Another offensive rebound for them right there. That's 10 offensive rebounds in the game for Duke.
That's been huge for the Devils today. is on top against Dang in the shot clock at 17. Dockery has seen a lot of time this afternoon. Reddick on the bench, the game's leading scorer with 21 for Duke, and Dockery floating and hitting. And a timeout taken by Duke. Back on top by 21. And thinking about Atlanta next weekend.
A beautiful thing about women, they don't sweat like a guy.
Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made just for guys.
Superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
Ultramax Gel.
This is crabgrass. I don't want to see crabgrass in my lawn. We put down Scott's Turf Builder with Halts in the early spring.
That's the only thing I ever use. Scott's puts this protective barrier over the lawn.
And it stops the crabgrass from germinating. Turf Builder with Halts, the best defense against crabgrass.
Don't miss a minute of March Madness. Get live video from all the games not shown in your area, plus access archives of games you've missed, highlights, press conferences, and more. Go to NCAAsports.com and click on live video. Barrett, here today, 3 of 9, 6 points. He's been the trigger man all season long, but today he has been kept in check. And Allen tries to weave his way inside. A good Duke rebound where they have controlled the glass today. Duke has only turned it over once in the last 15 minutes.
They had that one stretch of 6 turnovers in a 6-minute span right toward the end of the first half when Seton Hall first switched to the zone. And other than that, they have been exceedingly efficient with the basketball. You know, a team like Duke with as many scoring options as they have, if they're basically getting a shot every time down, you're in trouble.
Inside Dang, congested lane, and stepped out of bounds.
And the Duke Blue Devils under Mike Krzyzewski, a very interesting kind of team in the way they propose their attack. You can see there early in Mike Krzyzewski's career with the first of those great Duke teams in 1986, only about 11 three-point attempts per game. And you see now it's up to over 19 a game. And so this is a team that relies heavily on the three-point basket, although they have not done so today.
Marcus Toniel is guarded by Luol Deng.
And Williams, I think, is going to pick up the foul.
Down low, he's got 4 now with 5:05 to play in the second half.
And with 5:05 to play in the second half and Duke with a 21-point lead, there goes Duhon.
Duhon will leave. Reddick is back in. I'm assuming that Duhon is finished, the former National High School Player of the Year out of Slidell, Louisiana.
Kevin, I think if he were definitely finished, we would see what we saw on Thursday night, and that is the trainer cutting off the tape job that they have around his ribs. So you can see he's still in pain over there. But I think Mike Krzyzewski is going to keep that wrap on just for a little while longer, just to see how this goes.
Duke has gone 9 deep on their bench today, and the Pirates have gone 8.
Now Seton Hall trying to come with some trapping pressure. And this is a very dangerous thing to do with J.R. Reddick in the game. You get a double team, somebody's going to be open, and if it's Reddick, he, of course, is deadly from beyond the arc. Barrett's still trying to stay with Reddick.
With the shot clock at 5, Reddick into Dang. Ejected by Kelly Whitney.
Got a foul. I think it's against Copeland.
I think it is too.
Pushing Dang as he started down the lane.
Copeland picks up his second. He's a sophomore from Jersey City, New Jersey.
Boy, and what a job Duke has done on the free throw line today. Of course, we talk about Duke's reliance on the three, and they do, although they only produce about 30% of their offense from beyond the three-point arc, but they are noted for their ability to attack the basket. Traditionally, this is one of those teams that makes more free throws than their opponents attempt, and that has certainly been the story today.
Duke has taken 29 free throws, and Seton Hall 15, 89, 90%. Now with that last free throw for Duke's free throw shooting this afternoon. Barrett. Not enough of that today for Seton Hall.
No, I think you've got to credit Duke for that, Kevin. They have been very aggressive on the defensive end. Seton Hall trying to pick up their aggressiveness, but as they do, they foul.
Barrett picks up the foul right there. Let's swing it over to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm here with VCU head coach Jeff Capel. Jeff, what are you still doing here?
I didn't feel like going back to Richmond, so I actually went home to Fayetteville and saw my parents yesterday and came back up and going to watch Duke today and just hang around the area and going back to Richmond tomorrow.
You're a former Duke player. What do you think of this team? How far do you think they can go?
I think it's a team that can advance really far. They have really good guards. Duhan's playing with a lot of heart. JJ's playing with confidence. And Sheldon and Luol inside. I thought Shavlik's been great today. And obviously, as we all know, they're very well coached. So I think they can go a long way in this tournament.
Your team lost to Wake Forest on Thursday. They have Manhattan coming up right after this game. What do you think of that matchup?
This will be a very good game. Certainly, Manhattan's a really good team. It's a team a lot of people don't know about. Hopefully they know about them now with them beating Florida. But I really think that Wake Forest is going to play very well today. It's the first time in the tournament for Chris Paul, and certainly he played magnificent against us. And I think you're going to see them come out and really get after Manhattan early.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Kevin, Dan, back to you guys.
Tracy, thank you. And let's go back about 7 years ago, and it was Chris Collins and Jeff Capel in that Final Four team for Duke. Chris now an assistant with Blue Devils.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Capel's VCU bunch really played a fine game against Wake Forest.
Capel says he still talks with Coach K all the time. They're constantly visiting on the phone. Whitney was watching Ewing on the perimeter and picks up his second personal foul.
Well, I think that, you're Jeff Capel. You spent 4 years with Mike Krzyzewski as a player. You got to understand some of the things that he does so well as a coach and as a mentor to young people. And then if you find yourself in that same situation, particularly someone as young as Jeff Capel in the head coaching role, of course. Now, of course, he's not talking to Mike on the phone now, but of course you're going to call him on the phone and talk to him a little bit.
Tell you what, Chris Collins is another pretty good mentor, and his dad, Doug Collins, who I know is watching tonight. He's in Chicago for a basketball game, and his dad's a grandpa too, because Chris and his beautiful bride have a little baby over there, Ryan. And he wears a Collins jersey, does that little boy. There's Chris. He's going to be a head coach someday in college basketball, but enjoying Duke today and his career there with players like Chris Duhon to coach. 82-59 the Devils.
Imagine steak and shrimp, or shrimp and steak. Imagine having both of these on just one plate. For me and you, a choice of shrimp and juicy steak. So happy together, so happy together.
Applebee's new steak and shrimp double features. Get happy. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Está bien, mijo, conversa a tu mamá. Mama, please. It's not like that. It's right for me.
And you know this how?
Because of you.
Me?
Knowing right from wrong and believing in myself. Wanting to go to college. That came from you.
This is a map of my nationwide wireless plan. But if I go mobile to mobile, there's this whole different map that's nationwide, but not this nationwide. And these other maps, they're all nationwide and all different.
With the new Singular Nation, you never have to worry about maps on any call because you never pay roaming or long distance. Even your mobile-to-mobile minutes are truly nationwide.
I call it my nationwide means nationwide plan.
The new Singular Nation, another reason Singular fits you best.
Tax deferral, it's always the right time to open an IRA. Call 800-345-5063 to open your no-load, no-fee IRA today.
Our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Kelly Whitney with the 14-6 performance this afternoon for Seton Hall and J.J. Redick, who exploded for 17 in the first half. He's got 21 for the game. Now there's Kim Collins, Chris's wife on the left. There's Kathy Collins, Doug Collins' wife on the right. And there's little Ryan, who's like his grandpa. Always putting something. That was grandpa well. There's Chris with Duhan. Steve Wojciechowski is on that staff as well. He was a fine Duke player.
Wow, and so is Johnny Dawkins. So there's three pretty good backcourt players from the Duke Blue Devils now on the bench as coaches. Sheldon Williams is going to walk.
Will travel. There's some pretty good basketball minds and future head coaches in the college game on that Mike Krzyzewski staff. New player coming in now for Seton Hall is Manny Messi. He is from Gloucester, Ontario.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Duke with this game well in hand. We are going to get you set for our next slate of games. Seattle, you're up next. Nevada and Gonzaga are going to tip it at about 3:20 Eastern time. Those of you scheduled for Manhattan and Wake Forest, our second game in Raleigh, that game will tip at about 3:50, and we will get you there in time for that one. But we'll send you off to Seattle for Nevada and Gonzaga right after this.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by the United States Army, Gatorade, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, and by the new Chevrolets.
Hey, Racer, fancy new boots.
Gracias. I just buy them on my new credit card. It has this amazing low rate.
Really? But does that rate stay low like my Capital One No Hassle card?
Yeah. It stays low? What is going to happen to my rate?
Get the Capital One No Hassle card with a rate that starts low and stays low. Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
An available CD, MP3 player, and a car you can actually afford.
And we can roll all day.
Sounds good, huh? Meet the surprisingly big Chevy Aveo. With the surprisingly big 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain promise. The new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
You've got to step up. Close out all of the pressure. Trust everything you've been taught. And just believe you can do it. You know, my first day on the job sure felt familiar.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Russell Crowe, Meg Ryan, David Caruso. Proof of Life. Network premieres Sunday.
Introducing the Nissan Quest, a revolutionary minivan featuring 5 Skyview windows, front and side impact 5-star safety rating, an innovative center console, automated side and rear lift doors, and fold-away second and third row seats. Moms have changed. Shouldn't the minivan?
Va. Vroom. This is Panasonic Plasma HD TV. Breathtaking design and a picture that's in a class by itself. With a contrast ratio up to 3,000 to 1. It's simply beautiful, on or off.
Oh yeah. Va voom.
Plasma HD TV from Panasonic. Ideas for life.
If you're looking for a new professional-grade Envoy, then all GMC has to say is no. No down payment. No security deposit. No first payment. And no money due at signing. Get into your GMC dealer now because there's no checkbook required. Qualified customers lease a new Envoy 4x2 SLE for around $307 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See the pros at your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana GMC dealers.
John Duncanson and Sylvia Gomez. Weekends on CBS 2.
Final Four from Seattle, Washington, Key Arena. Second round action from the St. Louis bracket. Number 2 seed Gonzaga taking on 10th-seeded Nevada. Winner here will take on the survivor of the Georgia Tech Boston College matchup. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. And first, for the Wolfpack, Fazekas, Pinckney, Snyder, Hill, Thomas, and Okeson. And the Bulldogs from Gonzaga have Violet, Turioff, Knight, Bankhead, and Stepp. Trent Johnson, the head man of the Nevada Wolfpack, led them to their first ever NCAA tournament win on Thursday night. Victory over Michigan State. And Mark Few trying to get Gonzaga into the Sweet 16 for the 4th time over the last 6 years. John Clockerty, Curtis Shaw, Kerry Seton, the officials here at Key Arena. Ian Eagle, along with Jim Spinarco and Greg Kelser. Gonzaga, the 2 seed, highest seed they have ever had in NCAA tournament play, and we are underway from Seattle.
And an interesting beginning to this basketball game. Guy named Stepp has had problems shooting the basketball, but watch him to direct the traffic for the Zags and make it happen with their inside game right off the bat.
To the blocks, Turioff travel, and a turnover.
One of the things Mark Few talked about his team, the Zags, he really wants them to execute better than they did the other night, but more importantly, he wants them to set screens early in this basketball game to find guys underneath.
Cut to Snyder, extra feed, and Pinckney, the open man for the Dukes.
Now on the other side of the floor, Snyder is a great basketball player. All eyes are going to be on him from the Zags defensively, so you'll see a little bit of him passing the basketball just like that.
Here's Violet with a jump hook, count it, and one.
Early on, Gonzaga twice they had the basketball. What did they do with it? They went right to the blocks. They think they're strong enough and big enough to really deal down low with Nevada at the defensive end.
Kirk Snyder called on the foul. Violet at the line, 76%. He's coming off a double-double in the victory over Valparaiso in the first round. 13 points, 10 rebounds. But Gonzaga in that game, Jimmy, got off to a sluggish start.
Yeah, they did, and that's one of the things in terms of speaking with Coach Few. I mean, he's happy with this team, obviously, their production that they get, but he wants everybody to be involved. Keep in mind, they're a very good bench team like we saw the other night. If they're playing, the starters are getting off sluggish, you may see them go to their bench.
Snyder, tough shot on a fadeaway. Too strong.
Yeah, too strong, and he had a size advantage over Bankhead. Take him in a little closer than going away against the smaller player.
Tied at 2. Here's Violet against Pinckney. Pinckney trying to hold his ground. Bank shot doesn't go. Violet the follow. Off the rim. And rebounded by Snyder. 7th all-time meeting between these two schools. Gonzaga leads the series 4-2. Snyder in heavy traffic draws the foul.
Well, you look at the Zags' keys to their games. Establish that low post play that we talked about. Blake Stepp has had problems shooting the basketball in the NCAA tournament, and the bench play. Get guys involved. If the starters don't play well for Mark Few, they're going to get some guys off the bench who were very productive, especially in the first half the other night.
Earl Knight called on the personal foul for Gonzaga. And Snyder, who scored 19 points in that win over Michigan State, but only shot at 6 of 17 from the field. Big bucket down the stretch, and you saw what Nevada did at the free throw line in that first round win.
Well, I happened to ask Trent Johnson, the coach, about Snyder with that kind of concept eye in terms of him starting 0 for 5. He said this kid has confidence. He's really grown. 6 weeks ago, he might have gone into a little bit of a shell, but he steps up and he's going to continue to play that way is the easy prediction to make.
4-2 lead, Nevada. Turioff gets it up. Knight, the Seattle native. No good. And here comes Okeson the other way.
Good decision there by Okeson. 3-on-2 break, but the Zags closed in quickly.
Open look at a 3. Fazekas is fouled by Turioff. Let's talk about the keys to the game from the Nevada perspective.
Well, a couple of things pop into mind in terms of early, the way this has been set up. You have to defend the blocks. We talked about the Zags down in the offensive end. We'll put the spotlight on Snyder because obviously he has to step it up also and keeping the crowd quiet. This is a road game for Nevada right now for all intents and purposes. And Trent Johnson basically said before this basketball game, he said, hey, they're a good team. There's no question about it. They're a great basketball team. I'm not going to come in here and try to do different things. I want to start up playing straight up, see what happens, and I'll make some adjustments as I go along.
Fazekas had the big second half in that win over Michigan State. He splits a pair at the line as Turioff was called on his first foul. And Nevada has taken a 5-2 lead. Gonzaga riding a 21-game winning streak, the longest in the nation. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in Seattle.
Nice matchup with Hill, Thomas, and Steph to keep an eye on right here. Look at this pressure defensively.
Here's Steph. Nevada 5, Gonzaga 2. Backhand, a jumper. Second deuce for Gonzaga. 17:37 to go. First half at the arena.
Mark Few talked about the screens. That was a great screen. Okerson got caught up on it.
Fazekas off the mark for Nevada. Pinckney gets it back. Contact. Second foul on Turioff.
And that's a good call by Curtis Shaw. Turioff did not have great position. They attack. Sometimes you see crazy plays after a missed shot that kick out. The ball comes out, but watch him slide. He's sliding, trying with an intent to get in front of Pinckney going to the basket, but the left side of his body and the leg in particular was out and extended. Good call.
Lonnie Turioff coming off a 15-point performance in the first-round win over Valco, now on the bench at the 17:20 mark of the first half. 2 fouls. Nevada up by 1, spreading the floor. Okerson a long 3. No. Earl Knight the rebound.
He hit a big shot the other night at the end of that basketball game, but 2 for 7 from 3, so he will shoot the basketball. He's confident, even if he's struggling from outside percentage-wise.
Nevada leads it 5-4. Mallon into the game for Turioff, but he drills it. A 3 for the freshman from Spokane.
Well, came off the bench, 3 out of 4 shooting the other night. So a guy who's very, very confident. This is a deep Zag basketball team. So even when the starters, as we touched on, 1 or 2 or 3 guys aren't playing well, they go 8, 9, 10 deep. So they keep some fresh troops in there.
And a 7-5 Gonzaga lead. Snyder looking to break down Bankhead. Hill Thomas having some knee troubles, didn't practice yesterday. Fazekas, count it, and 1.
Terrific skills around the basket. Fazekas just looks for the basketball. He watches the basketball and then is good enough to deliver with the ball down low in the blocks.
Coming up, some of you will see Manhattan taking on Wake Forest. The Jaspers on to the second round in the East Rutherford bracket. Tip off at 3:52 Eastern time. Sean Mallon called on his first foul, and now Fazekas back to the free throw line. 77% shooter. Freshman from Arvada, Colorado. And he completes the three-point play.
And Mark Few is concerned about his play. I mean, he doesn't look like he can get the job done because he's slight with the body, but he is very, very good down low and good hands and good shooting touch.
Bankhead swatted by Pinckney.
Good help there by Okerson also.
Hill Thomas, the leader. Count it, and a foul.
Well, what we're seeing here is a confident basketball team. Forget about the records for the first 4 minutes of this coming into this basketball game. Okerson gets a hand in, Pinckney steps across, and Okerson with a quick delivery. And watch defensively again. Step, he drifted to his left. Player goes to his right. Good call by the officials again, and a good finish by Hill Thomas going to the hoop aggressively.
Oakland, California native completes the three-point play, the conventional one. 11-7 Nevada.
He's going to be a plus at the offensive end, but watch him defensively. I think he's probably one of the real keys one-on-one with this matchup on holding step down.
Already at the line 6 times, and another steal for Nevada.
Look at the control break, guy, and they're under control, keeping an eye on everything.
Snyder off balance. Foul called out front, and Knight shaking his head. The defensive end. Second foul on Earl Knight, trying to deal with the WAC Player of the Year, Kirk Snyder.
And the WAC Player of the Year, as you mentioned, is a tough out when it comes to guarding him because he has some very nice tools. That last trip down the floor, you saw him handling the basketball in the backcourt, brought it up to the attack area, and did you notice the lift he had on that jump shot? Makes it very difficult to block his shot.
And he has come up big in big games this season for Nevada, including 29 in the December victory over nationally ranked Kansas. Knight takes a seat for Gonzaga. He's replaced by Tony Skinner.
Well, he did start 0 for 5 against Michigan State the other night. But every shot he took that missed looked to me